One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the No Name Podcast. This is episode 15 of this legendary podcast. If you haven't heard all the previous episodes, well, then good luck. I am Mrmoopsy, and here are my co-hosts. Introduce yourselves, boys.
What's up? It's your boy Cosmic Jazz here for number 15.
Can you believe it's been 15 already? It's your boy Baker, man. He is feeling better than ever right now because he ate food, like a human being should do that more.
Yes.
And I'm out, and I'm Venom, who,
Nobody cares.
since I didn't have to pay child support this week, I got to be in the podcast.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Don't chat up this podcast.
Whole ass. Over here, not having to pay for child support. Yes.
I mean, we're all doing that at the moment.
It's lit, man.
And
secret.
It's like, Jess is like, do I have a secret for you, Moops? Oh my god.
Mrmoopsy doesn't even have any children, and he's paying child support.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Paying child support for a kid that ain't even yours, yo.
Nope.
Damn, not like this.
I don't know if I should like praise your heroism for taking care of random kids, or call you an idiot because I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. You wasted money.
The answer is yes.
What you can do for me is just press F to pay your respects.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have that shit on a turbo button.
Post it in the chat.
It's nothing but
Like,
F's when we get
yeah.
back. Wait, what?
Not no lowercase F's, capital F's up in this bitch.
Damn, much respect.
So much respect.
I put respect. Look, man, always putting respect on names, bro. Just like seasoning.
I feel like I'm gonna come back to this Discord one day and just see those F's. It's like, what were we doing?
So clearly someone was drunk.
After one beer, what kind of lightweight am I?
That would be kind of fucked up.
Yeah, actually.
Getting fucked up over one, like not even a full beer, just like one of the mini beers. Like, come on.
Like one of the ones you get at those hotels.
I ain't that weak. Yeah, exactly.
No. But I guess we can get on to our topics now, shall we?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Topic Man, go ahead and give the people the news.
All right, since it is 2019, we're going to take a step back and look back at our top 10 best and worst games of 2018.
That's right, we're living in the past, boys.
Yeah, because living in the past always works for everyone.
I know, right?
And if we have the time, oh, really? It's so late. If we have time, we can talk about how Bungie is leaving Activision, as well as a fake gamer girl stirring up the internet because of a, quote, social experiment, and an anime that's been really getting a lot of buzz lately that's about old school arcade games for such. So I guess we can start off with our top 10 best and worst. I was thinking we can probably go round robin, so me, Mrmoopsy, Eddie, then Venom.
I guess.
I mean, to be
Venom,
honest, I
nobody
don't
cares.
I don't think I've played enough games to know what's bad and what's good.
Man, you suck.
You would be that guy. Stop paying child support and play more games.
Don't feed children.
That money should be going to your gaming, man. So we're good?
Yeah, man.
It was. We can't get.
So I'll start off with my number. What I wanted to do was 10. When you do yours, 10 or whatever, do your best and then do your worst, and then we move on to the next one.
Dude, I'm gonna just say it now. I don't have 10 games.
Which is fine. Like, I figured, like, some of us wouldn't have 10 games. Which is fine. Just when we ever get to the number you're at, join in.
All right, cool.
I will throw out. I don't have 10 worst, but that's because I go out of my way to make sure not to buy shitty games.
which is what you should be doing. A clap and a half for this guy. Rest in peace, Matt
don't
Pat.
fucking like if you clap and a half, Matt Pat's gonna fucking sue us from the grave.
I wish you would after what he just pulled. But anyway,
Wait, Matt Pat's dead?
But I'll start off with my best, which was actually a late game that I played last year, which was Detroit Become Human. Mrmoopsy knows my thing with David Bukake.
Wow.
I hate. Well, he has very hit and miss games.
Our one Bukake joke for the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
But,
We limit one per podcast.
Only one. But as you, if anybody's been known for his games, he is a hit or miss. Either Indigo Prophecy was a miss, Heavy Rain was a good one. Then
I like that one though. That's how I got into Quantic Dream games.
Indigo Prophecy.
Yeah, that's the first one I've ever played.
Press F to pay respect.
That's one of those games I literally just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I mean, yeah, it was like a whole bunch of clusterfuck of like, what the hell's happening? But
that's putting it lightly. No,
and then some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Stupid, but
that's
still.
Beyond. That's not even the beginning with that game. But I'm not gonna go there because that's nightmare fuel.
Oh, God.
But I guess the most controversial one would be Beyond Two Souls. Some people liked it. Some people really hated it. And now he came out with this one.
One of the hated people.
I was on the hated side, but not like so much. It was just like burned it to the ground. Just like, this is stupid. Detroit Become Human was actually very good because of the he's mastered basically what he's done throughout all these games. Now I will say, because me and Mrmoopsy did go into this, one thing that a lot of people didn't like about the game, and I kind of see their point. It seems like he's trying to make a point, but in like I don't know how to put it. Like, he's too smart per se. He's trying to be too smart for his own good.
Ask me what it means. Ask me what it means.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, he Shyamalan'd it. But yeah, overall, I love the characters in there. The plot twist, but one of them was seen a mile away, but that's neither here or there.
Freaking Mr. Krabs is the racist detective.
Pretty much. Let's be honest here. But no, overall,
Oh yeah, I remember Venom was there when I was streaming it, and it's just like I kept saying throughout the whole thing, it's just like, I need to make Mr. Krabs want to fuck Connor.
Give me that cyborg dick, SpongeBob.
The sad thing is, you're not the only one.
No, yeah, I know that I wasn't the only one. Like, I know you're not a super big fan of him, Jess, but it's just like, from I saw this Game Grumps compilation, and it's like fucking, Aaron was also trying to fucking get him to do that.
It's gonna be real hard sucking dick without any teeth.
Jess had to make his stance known.
But yeah, I mean, overall, that's pretty much all I really have to say, because it wasn't like it was mind blowing or anything. It was fun and good for a couple playthroughs if you're just into that kind of storytelling. As far as worst go for number 10, I have State of Decay 2. It really did fall under that whole if you have a friend it's fun kind of thing, so that's why it's number 10 and not later lower. That being said, the glitches were awful. I mean, like, to the point where the game would be unplayable at some point. Dog!
Sorry.
Doggo agrees and approves.
And, like, for example, one thing you have to do is basically keep people happy in a camp that you kept finding people for. And there would be times where you would load up the game and people would already be dead within the camp, and you don't know how. Because zombies can't really get in there.
It's
Zombie
like
plague. It's beginning.
it's like you're loading it and you're just like, all right, time to save those people, and oh, they're dead.
Exactly. It was pretty much like that. And
It's like, what the hell? That's not fair.
I think my favorite glitch that happened was like I was driving a car and then the car just disappeared. Wait.
I was playing the game and like damn, like nothing was happening. You seem to be like one guy where I was just kind of like, oh my god, this game is so fucking buggy. I was getting shit, like I was getting like people inside cars, inside people, and it's just kind of like fucking like you get like the weirdest shit. I swear.
Well, I mean, you've seen my streams.
Yeah.
Like, here's my favorite glitch I think I've ever had was from Dragon Age, where like. I was fighting a bunch of bandits and whatnot, and all of a sudden this bear popped out of nowhere and started attacking me. Like, what is happening?
Random bear strikes again.
Fucking don't start forest fires type shit. Like, whoa, wait.
Smokey, I'm sorry.
I had to kill him too, so bye, Smokey.
Press F to pay respect.
Always press F to pay respect. But like it literally got to the point where I was almost kind of quote done with the main stuff of the game, and then something glitched to the point where I kept spawning into this this grocery store, and there was always this giant like blob monster thing, basically from Left 4 Dead. Let's be honest here, but like, and it kept like ripping me in half. I was just like, well, now I'm done with this game.
Yeah, I never got to that part in Detroit.
Nope, I never did. But no, those are my number 10s. Mrmoopsy next?
Let's see, because I knew I wouldn't remember all the games that came out this year, so I wrote them down.
Same.
Okay, yeah, my number 10 I'm gonna put as A Way Out.
Nice.
As
Because
good or bad?
that it's. I mean, oh yeah, sorry, I should clarify. This is good. I don't have any top 10 for bad. Well, I did say that.
Okay.
Yeah, he said that's. I was like, why are you confused?
Oh, I wasn't listening.
We can tell.
Professional podcaster, everybody. No, it's like my number 10 is A Way Out because like the game is fun, and it really did have some cool ideas. Like the whole concept and execution of the game was actually really cool. I like how a lot of the stuff that like one of the big things that they were doing mechanically was that like you only need one copy of the game, and the whole thing is the co-op. But if you want to play with like say a buddy, you only need one copy, and so then you can download an app so that the other person can play a round of the game with you too. The story, it was pretty goddamn cliche. There is a part there is like the ending. It does kind of throw you for a little bit of a loop, but there are some parts where you're just kind of like, okay, this makes sense now.
Isn't the game basically just Journey but with prison?
I haven't played Journey, but I want to say no.
I will say you're about a fourth right.
It's like Journey but with prison sex.
Wow, jeez, I don't even want to imagine that.
It's like take out the sex part and you're right. Oh, you're fourth right. But yeah, it's like the game was fun. The biggest reason why I'm putting it at number 10 is because, first of all, with my playing experience, I was playing with my brother, but like I've said on an earlier episode, like I'd have to wait like 3-4 months before my brother would come to visit so that we could actually play just like an hour or two.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until like these holidays where we actually got around to beating it. And I mean, I've heard people say that like, oh, this is a game where like your choices like really matter and stuff, and it's just kind of like, it doesn't necessarily do that, because a lot of times like games will advertise that, and when you get to like the ending, really it's kind of like the ending that you get there is really the one that like decides everything. Kind of like for example, for Mass Effect 3 Jazz, where it's just kind of like you do all the stuff that's supposed to affect the ultimate ending, and then when you get to it, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I just have 3 choices, really.
You just had to go there, didn't you? No, I'm just playing.
BioWare's closed!
Podcast over!
I quit!
It's like, BioWare's closed, click.
And it's just like awkward silence for like the next 2 hours.
Yeah. You thought for a second because we're on 15 episodes that we still ain't firing shots out here? Yeah,
we're still not hesitant to go beyond that line.
No, we're not.
And never will.
We see that line, then we say fuck the line.
Exactly.
But it's kind of got like that type of ending. The one good thing though about it is how you get to those two choices for the ending. It is really unique, so I will give it that. It does have that over Mass Effect 3.
Mhm.
But because I guess you could say that it's just like this because the story was somewhat predictable, and because like there were like while it was fun, there was nothing that really like super grabbed us. Nothing that made me and my brother go like, okay, let's keep going, and we spent like a whole day of this. It was more of like we'd play a couple hours, and then afterwards we'd just be like, okay, let's go do something else. But the game was still pretty good. If I was gonna like say for example give it a rating, I'd give it like around an 8.
Nice.
But I would say that like that's it. That's my number 10.
All right. Nobody else had another 10, right?
No,
Uh,
I don't
I
have a
might-
number 10. I don't even have a worse game. I don't even have a bad game. All I have is good games.
I have a good one
All right.
that I'll probably talk about right now since I just looked it up and it did come out this year. Monster Hunter World.
10?
Okay. Number 10. Go on.
Yeah. So
all right, nigga, go on then.
So my friend just recently bought it for me for Christmas, and at first like I was kind of just like, whatever. But then like as I started playing it more, I'm all like, oh shit, this thing's fucking kicking my ass, and I'm gonna kill this freaking thing. So it's like, and I know a lot of people kind of hate it because it's like they need just one material and it won't give it to them till like the 80th time they've killed or captured the monster.
RNG.
Boxes.
But I don't know. I like the grinding of it, and I mean, like some of the armors do look pretty badass. Like of the freaking the old dragon's armor, I think is still like in my number one favorite armor of Monster Hunter, just because of that freaking mask that you can wear.
Which
and
one?
then like I mean I call him the Blood Dog because that's what he looks like. Just
Odogaron. Okay.
yeah, and his armor just looks so freaking badass that I wanted it. And then like all the events that have happened where you could fight the behemoth from Final Fantasy and
My God, that motherfucker's tough.
and then like Lunastra and what's the name of I forget what the name of the gold elder dragon is.
Kulvatara.
Kogotarath. And then the fact that they just announced that they're gonna make an expansion. Which, I mean, if it costs money, then, I mean, I don't care. I'm still probably going to buy it. But still, I mean, at least the game's getting love still.
Oh hell yeah! After that launch, it's like it would baffle people if it wasn't getting love.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I put that as my number 10. Mostly because it's a recent game that I just started playing, so that's why I put it as a number 10. Like, if I've been playing it since January that it came out, then I would probably put it lower. But because I just started playing it, that's why it's number 10.
That's fair.
All right, that makes sense.
That's
Makes
fair.
sense.
All right, I guess I go to my number 9, which is Dragon Ball Fighters.
Nani?
I need
Gasp!
the fuck.
My man, go off.
So, I mean, it was a good game. I can't deny the relevance it's had last year, and to the extent this month.
Seriously.
And overall, as far as Dragon Ball, like, actual fighting game goes, 10 out of 10 is that aspect, if I had to go through the other ones. That being said, that story was so tedious. Like,
I always hated how, like, you only have a certain number of turns to go around the map.
Yeah, that seemed forced.
And I'm all like, but I just want to make my guy stronger. Like, why are you limiting This isn't a Persona game.
Here's a question though,
Okay.
because I'm remembering something from my past, and I'm just kind of like, oh god, my head hurts.
Shit.
Remembering hurts my brain.
Memento.
This gonna be good.
Well, because like I believe it was Budokai 2. Didn't it have like a similar system?
Yes and no.
Because like the big question is just kind of like what's like the big differences? Because like I remember I played Budokai 2 like ages ago at my cousin's house, and like I remember it was like a fucking playing board kind of bullshit going on too. But I remember that it was also kind of a pain in the ass getting through that board too.
I think the difficulty, to be honest, because you could burn through fighters. Budokai had like some weird difficulty spikes at sometimes, and then it'd be easier the very next board. Like what? The shit.
I remember Budokai 1 when Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time. He's like pissed off and ready to go against Freezer, but my health bar's on yellow. I'm like, yo.
Yes, it was be shit like that.
I'm like, I didn't sign up for this shit. What?
Like, that's what happened in Budokai 2. Like, shit like that would happen. And then the very next one would be like, everybody's super max, ridiculously strong. The board doesn't even matter. You just blow it up like Cell did the arena.
It's like that one guy that like doesn't like you and like makes your life a living hell, but then there's just that one day where he's just like, you know what, I'll buy you something to eat. I'm like, yay!
Pretty much.
I've never had that moment, and I would stab that guy.
And you would be inclined to. You being nice to me now? Nah, what's in that sandwich, dear?
It's like, you got something up your sleeve. I'm gonna get the preemptive strike. And while they're arresting me, officer, I had the preemptive strike.
No, you don't understand. I got him. I outsmarted him.
RPG.
I won.
Do you not understand, Sky?
No. But actually, it's interesting. And Moosey might disagree with me on this point, which is fine.
I disagree.
There you go. But
agree to disagree.
Go ahead.
It always makes me wonder why I couldn't enjoy the game like a lot of other people could. And it didn't come to my attention until, and Eddie, I think you probably remember this too, when Jin and Ross were telling me about my play style.
Right.
And it just came to my attention that this game is so offensive that there's barely any really defensive options for a person like me. So I can't really enjoy the game the way I like to play, per se.
Yeah, they
For a
keep,
second
there.
they keep blasting racial slurs.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm all like, I thought Charles was going to say offensive. Like
actually
Goku
funny.
doing a slant eyes or something.
Because the talk actually spawned from something kind of like that. Because they kept talking about how I got like hate mail and shit. Which comes from like that kind of shit.
Sorry, you cut off. What'd you say?
Oh, it came from like me talking about how I got hate mail and shit. Compared to everybody else. So technically you're not wrong.
You were talking about in fighters, right?
Yeah. In fighters, like
There's no defensive options in that game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
There's
I think
very
my biggest problem with that game is you play one way or you die.
And that's what a lot of people have been complaining about is like which I mean like it's almost every fighting game where like it's like every match it's like the same combos, the same stuff over and over again. It's like, I got you in that same combo, then I got you in that one. And it's like it gets boring after a while. And I'm all like, yeah, but
I mean, like
some fighting games are like that too.
Like what I would argue though is that it's just kind of like where the repetition comes from. That comes from like the people like mimicking the top tier players.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that like necessarily that the game doesn't have any defensive options. That just means that like you've got a problem with a lot of mimics. Whereas a game with like Dragon Ball Fighters, it's more of like everyone has to play the same style, not the same character.
Yeah. But yeah, that point in general just made it so that it just wasn't enjoyable to me. Still a great game by all means for what they did, but it still has a lot of problems in my opinion. But no, that's why it's my number 9.
Which raises the question: Are they going to make a season 2 of characters?
I mean, They better. As much as that game sold, come on. Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like saw an event hub today, but apparently like there's gonna be some announcement within like the next 4 days.
Well, I mean, isn't
Oh.
the final soon?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Saga 7 ends this month. So it's got to be some point they're going to do it.
It's probably this weekend then.
Yeah. So I guarantee you they're gonna announce another season. Come on, that'd be stupid as hell if they didn't.
I mean,
Come
seriously.
on!
Come on.
I guess I can get to my number 9 worst, which is a game that I only really tried because I liked the
Wait,
game.
I thought Dragon Ball was your number 9. Or...
My best, number 9.
Oh,
I'm going to my number 9 worst.
okay.
But basically, it's a game that spawned from another game that I really liked and that I was late on, which was Until Dawn. But they made like a prequel per se called The Inpatient.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that game was trash. Like the whole thing was that you had like a VR headset thing or whatever, and you're kind of like playing as a person in an asylum back before the Wendigo was really a thing. And then you're seeing how they became what they were. But they tried to do that whole choice thing or whatever, but none of it mattered. And each time you get like a jump scare, it was stupid and didn't really affect anybody. So it's like, jump scare, I don't care.
I know, I swear, like, they've been making some weird spin-offs to Until Dawn. Because then there's that game, and then there's that rail shooter.
That one's actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's stupid, but it's fun. Because that's also in VR.
Yeah. It's just like, these are just some weird-ass spin-offs.
Yeah, that I would agree with you. That was weird as hell, but it was at least it was fun. I couldn't care for The Impatient. It was such a letdown. Like, really, especially since you have to have a VR headset to even play the game. The fact that it's really that bad, it makes it just ridiculous. I didn't want to spend much on that one because it's a VR game. Nobody cares. But yeah, Mrmoopsy, your turn.
All right, so my number 9. Let me go to my list. My number 9 was Detroit.
What? Nani?
Yes.
Yeah, my number 9 was Detroit. Mostly because because this is the first time I actually delved into a Quantic Dream type game. Someone's mocking me.
They were like, "What?"
Never yet. But it's my number 9. Because like it did do what I was asking for at the time, which is like the Venom. I swear to God, if you're watching videos.
No, my mom's asking me something. That's why. Sorry.
Okay. But it was asking for that. It was giving me like that branching pattern or path type game that I really wanted to get. And I mean, if you had seen that that day that I did the finishing playthrough of it, you know that I got 2 out of the 3 really good endings.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, the racist cop and the robot became friends.
Or more.
Question mark?
Detroit,
But
It's time you saw my doubloon.
But like I've wanted to go back into into the game, but I haven't had like a really pressing urge to like play it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't had like that one moment where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I really feel like popping this back in. I've played like Hitman a bit more than I've wanted to play like Detroit. So it's just kind of like, it is good. And I remember like that there was like all those moments where like Jazz was like there on the streams and he would tell me that it's just like, you know, oh, David Cage just like fucking, he's ripping shit off of like fucking history and putting it on the game.
Rips off like the Martin Luther King and freedom speech shit. Literally, legit.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a part where, like, I don't know, a guy throws, like, I don't know, some trash that has, like, an Android, like, ad on it, and then you just see an camera and you just see a single tear come down his eye.
That's the DLC.
But so it's like I haven't had any reason to like really replay it. I know I'm still missing one ending, to get it at 100%. But I mean, it's definitely fun, and I mean, I'm definitely not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it for whenever I do want to play the game. But at the moment, it's just kind of like there's nothing really like enticing me to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that that's my number 9.
All right. Any number 9s left?
No.
All right. On to number 8 then. Which my number 8 is.
Oh, cool. I'm not even going to get involved until number 5.
Okay. Like, at least I know that for sure. Okay. So, number 8 is Ni no Kuni 2. Basically, if you like Ni no Kuni, you're going to like this one too, except for maybe story beats, which they're weaker than they were in the first Ni no Kuni, but everything else
You can't say that.
Well, fuck you too.
Because some people would be like, "You're blaspheming against Studio
Oh,
Ghibli."
absolutely. I guarantee somebody's gonna say that. But to them, I give them the middle finger. But honestly, everything else is better. The fighting's better. Your teammates are better. The bosses are better. Everything about the game is better, except for the story, in my opinion. It's not bad. I'm not going to say that. It's just weaker than the first one. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about Ni no Kuni 2. It's just a better game except for story. And as far as the worst... go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so did they get rid of that whole, like, Pokemon monster thing?
No, they made it
completely?
better. They made it better, but you don't have to do it. That is optional.
I mean, that sounds like an improvement at least, because I've told I've said that before. That it's like part of the thing that I was kind of like turned off of was like how Ni no Kuni was basically just like ripping off Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's optional. You literally can go throughout the entire game without using it. But yeah, my worst is Fallout 76.
Oh god.
Controversy aside, let's just take that out of there, because by that it should be number 1 by that point. But controversy aside, that game is boring as hell. And not only that, but you can tell like from other videos that I've seen that they've just did asset swaps. Literally, the final boss is a blood dragon from Skyrim, just turned into like a Deathclaw with wings, which was literally the most disappointing thing ever, because Mrmoopsy remembers that the first thing I said was, "Oh my god, Deathclaw with wings. That's scary as shit." And that was the last boss. Are you kidding me? That's the best y'all had.
I can confirm this is a moment.
I think the one thing too that like people hated about Fallout 76 is the fact that like what's it called? Deadeye? Or
VATS.
Talking about VATS.
The VATS system was in it, and it's like, really? You're gonna put that in a multiplayer heavy game to where like oops, sorry. Stupid came up. Anyway, you're gonna put that in a multiplayer heavy game where all you have to do is just aim for specific body parts and just boom boom.
Well, see, and then they put it in there, but it shouldn't have been in there in the first place, for one thing, like you said. But they put it in there as an aimbot instead. Like, it's not even the slowdown anymore. It's just like you auto aim at the person. You don't even aim at a body part. You just aim at them.
Oh wow.
It's literally just an aimbot. It was literally one of those things. It's just like, okay, this is what made Fallout 3 and 4 kind of like interesting, was this tactic thing, and you made it worse somehow.
How do you do that?
I mean, I feel like Fallout 76 is one of those things where it's like it sounded good on paper, but just in execution, it just sucked balls.
Mrmoopsy and Eddie can confirm this. I called it. This game was going to be bad. I called that shit.
What, from the first trailer?
If I remember correctly, it was like he was open to it until they started mentioning the nuke system. Then he was like, all bets are off.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know about that one, Chief.
You killed your game. You're gonna lose millions.
I feel like they probably would have pulled it off had they tried. I like mechanical things aside, had they just like put an effort into making their game great, I think they would have made a great game.
There was potential. I will never dispute that. But dear
Definitely.
God, what did you come up with? Oh, did y'all hear about the fact that the nukes don't even work anymore?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you mean don't work anymore?
The codes are like fucked up and nobody can use the nukes now. So, yeah.
What is that even?
Jesus Christ!
How did that one go down?
Something about like New Year's and they wanted everybody to fire the nukes or something like that.
Basically, like the game Y2K.
Yeah.
I know. I was about to say, I'm like, oh my god, did the game just have its own Y2K?
It literally did.
Well, it's a reverse Y2K because now the nukes aren't working.
Yeah, you have a point.
That's actually pretty true.
But, that's my number 8 as far as worst goes. So, Moops, number 8?
Let me see. Yeah, I was gonna say like do that song. I'm gonna say, and I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I'm gonna make my number 8 God of War.
You
nigga!
I don't know why I'm even friends with you in the first place. I did it for pity.
So the truth finally comes out.
Whose man's?
I don't claim this one.
I'm just like entirely abandoned by everyone.
Everybody, turn your backs.
You just hear like chairs being thrown out and door slamming.
I want the Hispanic community to disown you right now.
So Venom, do you disown me?
Disown you?
Shit.
I throw you out and make it so you can never find another house to live again.
Damn.
So like this, like disown? Nah, this is just the beginning. No, but please explain. Like, come on.
I mean, like, I never said it was a
you.
bad game. I never said it was like in my top 10 worst. I said I have no top 10 worst.
I got you. Continue.
It's like just like puts his hand across his face. He's like, just tell us why you're a soulless monster.
Just tell us why you don't like video games. Was there too much
you
water?
Man, this nigga Mrmoopsy don't even drink water, nigga. Oh my god.
Well, I'm staring at a big bottle of water in my room.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But he labels it not water, so he knows it's fine.
It literally says purified drinking water.
He just has it there for appearances.
That's what they all say.
Purified. Sure.
Yeah, about as pure as your game choices. All right, last one.
All right. The floor is yours, good sir.
Okay, I did have fun with the game. I just didn't get super invested into the story.
I'll stop you right there. No, just play. Go ahead.
Like again, like I'm not saying that the game was bad or anything. It's just kind of like it was good, but it's like I didn't get super invested into the story. Like there were some parts, some twists, and some parts where I'm just kind of like, I am looking forward to this. Like the secret ending, of course, I'm looking forward to like what's gonna happen next. And I am okay with like the new direction that they are taking with the game. I guess that you could say that for me, one of the things that like and one of the things I do also appreciate was like how the fact that like with Atreus, like the thing was never like a fucking Ashley situation.
No, I mean,
I would
he was
say
also running. He's actually part of your gameplay, though.
Well, no, that's what I mean, though. It's just kind of like, because Ashley's part of the gameplay, too, in Resident Evil 4, but I mean, like, she's not... Like, the moment she dies, the whole thing is screwed. Yeah.
No, but, That's why I like, Atreus, because he's basically the Elizabeth to you, where, he can't get hurt, he can't die,
Such a good
and he just
comparison.
helps you.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really did like. As far as like enemy variety, it was kind of lacking. Because I remember, I know Jasper will agree with me on this one, where how some of because I'm okay with like some of the bosses when like in the beginning they start off as a boss, but then like you go down the line down the game and then it's just like they become more of like an enemy. But the problem is that like they just kept like that was more of like a constantly recurring enemy.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that like it did kind of start to get like a little tiring after a while. Um, uh, Another thing too was like I know that they were like saving like some of the good gods for the upcoming ones, but I feel like we could have gotten at least like one or two more like really interesting bosses. I just feel like a lot of the gameplay was like solid. It just didn't really go like that next step into like the crazy, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But like far be it from me to say that it's a bad game. If anything, it's still a good game. It's just kind of like it just didn't like entirely hook me the way it got everyone else.
Which is fair. No. Raz joined us, so
It's like fucking Jess says, "And let the roasting continue."
now that that's out of the way, boy, if
Nah,
you
man.
Just like get out the brass knuckles.
Honestly, I've poked at you enough. Like I just went like, oh my god, not God of War, and then just give you a hard time. I'm like, okay, let's continue this like adults. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, Raz is here, so say hi, Raz.
Hi, Raz.
Fuck Raz.
All right.
This coming from the man that respects Whammon.
Told you,
2019.
2019, man, that shit ended.
I guess I'll move on to my number 7, which is Monster Hunter World. So
Wow.
yeah.
All right.
Thing is,
Well, let's go.
I will admit this. I spent so many hours in that game. So many. And honestly, I felt like I was hitting that wall very quickly, which what you felt, Eddie, about the whole not really wanting to play it anymore.
Yep.
But I think it was because I burnt through it so quick. Like, quicker than I've done a lot of games.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a part of my list too, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it when we get to it.
And then like it would have been higher, but I also ran into something that Venom just pointed out, which was the whole getting your item a billion times. Like when it came to the Kulvitarath, that was kind of my breaking point of that. Oh fuck this. Because
Yeah, he really didn't want to keep. He really didn't want to drop your items.
yeah, like I literally took a screenshot and put it on Twitter at one point saying that I had like over 500 of a bunch of stuff except for the one thing I needed. It's just like that's stupid. That
Yeah,
should
'cause I
never
think, like,
happen.
A lot of
Retarded-ass drop
yeah.
rates, huh?
I think because it's
And
like
I
sometimes
did,
they'll have like some stuff where it's just like 1% or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I did forget to mention, but like, and I mean, it's not really spoiler, but like, I do kind of hate the fact that after like, I guess it's like the first half of the game, that's when the monsters get stronger, and basically all of the items you've gotten, like your armor, your weapons, just basically become obsolete because now you gotta do the whole grind again just to get stronger armor, stronger weapons.
I will
That's
say
actually
that
kind of like a staple from like Monster Hunter in general. Like that's not the only time that they've done it.
I will say, like, going to that point too, if it wasn't for my Tokiden experience, that would have bugged me. But because I've ran into that very thing, it didn't bother me at all. It was just how quick it happened that bothered me. Because I just got the Odogaron armor. I was just like, this is so cool. And it became obsolete the second I beat, what's his name? The one we were trying to fight the other day.
Not Xeno'jiva, huh?
No, it's
Not
the
Xeno'jiva.
spiky one.
Yeah. Zora Magdaros.
Zora Magdaros is the volcano dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Right.
about. Like the second you beat him, all that armor you just got was obsolete, basically, for the most part.
Sorry, you said the spiky dude, but that's not Zora Magdaros at all. Nergigante is.
You mean,
Nergigante, that's the
yeah.
one.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like all that shit came obsolete. It's just like, what was the point of this? Now, that did bug me a little bit, but it wasn't like so much so it's like, man, this game sucks. It's like, minor inconvenience, whatever.
It's like, what a weird point to say that I've been a bitch this whole time.
Exactly.
It's like, I just got all this cool armor. You mean to tell me I have to go out and grind for more?
Like I said, with Tokiden, that didn't bother me at all. But it did also make me appreciate Tokiden more, because the story in Monster Hunter World was practically non-existent, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was keeping the tradition as a Monster Hunter veteran, or the veteran among the group. I would say it's just kind of like, yeah, it's keeping the tradition.
Yeah.
Just Monster Hunter things, boys.
Exactly. But I will say, that being said, I had a lot of cool moments with the game, with like just playing with Mrmoopsy and Eddie and Ross and all the others. Just a lot of cool co-op moments, and it made me appreciate co-op games even more with that instance, and the whole preparing the food, your cat companion, really learning the area so you can beat the monster to where they're going. It really made me love that kind of thing. And every once in a blue moon, I do go back to the game, just because I like that experience. But it's just everything else that I just mentioned before just kind of knocked it a bit over compared to the other games I'm going to mention down below. But yeah, that's just my stance on Monster Hunter World. Number 7, really good game. Definitely deserved some awards that it got. I think I can't remember what it got, but it got some good awards.
I think they got RPG of the year.
I think so.
I think it.
Yeah. So overall, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the game. Number 7 worst is Warriors Orochi 4. So
That's on the worst list?
That's on my worst list. And there's a reason why. Because I really,
sucks.
Well, it's not even the fact that it sucks. Because in hindsight, it might be just because my expectation was so high for it. Because Eddie knows Warriors Orochi 3 is like my game.
that was our jam.
Yeah. Like, it literally only gets beat out slightly by Dynasty Warriors Empires 8 for me. Slightly. And that's just because of how Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires works. But when it came to those games, Warriors Orochi 3, me and Eddie, that was our jam.
Yeah, definitely.
And Warriors Orochi 4 is such a downgrade that it's like, what happened? I mean, non-guest characters aside, the story was just trash, and the new characters were trash, both in gameplay and in story. And then it ran into something that I'm going to run down later down the line. I'm not going to say it now, but it changed weapons for characters as their main weapons, and it was just like, why are you doing this?
This isn't the game I wanted.
It really, like, and honestly, like I said before, it might be because my expectations were just so high that it just could not be met. But this is even below even normal expectations, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, STFB likes that game, but I was just like, I can't with that game. But that's my number 7.
No, I will not agree. No.
you play it then.
Maybe just no.
Get it away from me!
Yeah. Moops, number 7?
Number 7. I'm gonna put Mega Man 11 as my number 7.
Really?
Yeah. Because, I guess, overall, I love the game. It's got it made a lot of the changes that I wanted. A lot of the times when I said, like, Mega Man should do this or this, like a lot of the theories whenever I will talk to you guys, I would see some of them actually popping up in the in the execution of like the game. You know, when I because I said like either they need to change the formula or or if they're gonna go for classic, they can't go for a full $60 price point. They actually and when they announced the price that it was actually $30 at launch, I was like, okay, that's actually like super smart. I love how
Damn,
they
really 30?
yeah, it's 30 at
It's
launch.
only 30.
Oh,
It might be
okay.
even lower now because it's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Duh.
and then what else? I love how they're starting to go away from like the 8-bit and they're actually using like the little 3D models. This like I love a lot of the stuff they did. I would say though that my main gripe with it is that it's still the same game. Because like this is something I've kind of been on for a while, which is what I wish that they would do is I wish that they would like either they would like change the formula for the main series so that they can either keep it or keep it like in the same universe, like same Mega Man, regular Mega Man universe, and then either start to do some stuff like some hints that lead up to X, or maybe they change it so that it's like if they're not gonna use like Mega Man Legends, give the original game the Legends formula, like just do something. Right now it's just kind of like, yeah, you can keep like releasing a new Mega Man every once in a while, and with the same formula, and that's fine. The problem is though that it's just kind of like it's the same formula. The series is stagnating. It's not advancing, and I've said before that it's like I do think that like the blame doesn't just go to the developers; it actually goes to the fans as well. Because a lot of times, they've tried to change the formula, but then people would get pissed off and ask for like the original shit again. And so it's kind of like I think that what they need to do is they need to like the series needs some kind of boost, some kind of change, so that like the games can actually either develop or they start to move on to something else. They just need something, because as much as I do like the game, it's still the same thing. I can play like I can buy like the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and I can play like Mega Man 11 similarly to like say like Mega Man 3 or 4.
That makes sense. All right. So, you good for Mega Man?
That's it for that.
All right, number 6. My number 6 was actually something that came out of effing nowhere for me, which was Tetris Effect. No,
Never played that one.
it's
Nope.
definitely worth your time if you you like anything about Tetris. Definitely check this one out. I don't even think it's like a full price game. I think it's like 30. But like you start off and it's like a normal Tetris thing or whatever. But as you get further and further along, it goes to kind of like its own kind of music and whatnot. And then how you play it is how the music is affected. And throughout that entire game, I kept trying to get better and better because the music was just so good. It was so like relaxing and almost therapeutic in a way.
It brought me back to my childhood.
It made me think of home.
That scene from Ratatouille, that but with music.
No, it's interesting because I'm not a big Tetris person, so like the fact that it made me just never really want to stop playing is like amazing to me. But I mean, there's not much else I can say. It's Tetris game, but like I really say if you can, maybe not even play it, just look up some videos on it and just like listen. And it's just really good. But that's all I got to say on 6 because I mean it's Tetris. But
I think the noise in the background might get us demonetized.
yes, it will most likely because of the laugh track.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not kidding. That might get us demonetized.
Yeah, like Venom. Do you mind turning that down a little bit?
Here, hold on.
I already don't make money.
I just gotta let go for my job.
But my number 6 least like worst was a game called Extinction. Now imagine Attack on Titan being a video game, which it is, And imagine it being boring and repetitive. That is Extinction in a nutshell.
It's like, which it is.
Which it is. Extinction in a nutshell. I mean, literally, they ripped off Attack on Titan. You can tell they ripped it off. But it's basically the same 3 objectives throughout the entire game.
You cut off super bad. What was that?
That they ripped off Attack on Titan.
Ah.
But it's like the same 3 objectives. Make sure the people don't die. Make sure the village is safe. Kill the giants. And that's it. And they sold it off as like a $60 game.
For what game was it?
Extinction.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of it, but I've never really
Yeah,
I never heard of it.
play it. Yeah, I've seen it at GameStop. And like they kind of hyped it up with like the posters and stuff, and like, oh, it's so cool looking, and blah blah blah. And then I guess
It's funny you say that because I was working at GameStop over the winter, and fucking like I don't remember seeing that.
Well, that's because it came out
exactly.
earlier in the year. Yeah.
Was that just?
That's because it came out earlier in the year.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a really bad game, really boring, bad controls, bad camera. It's everything it could be bad about a knockoff. It is. And that's my number 6. So, oops, number 6.
Number 6. I am going to say, because some of these are like I want to have like high up, and it's just kind of like it's just cramming them all in there. But I will say that my number 6 is going to be Soul Calibur 6.
Gasp.
dead ass, damn titty.
I mean,
that's like the sole reason why you like it. It's just dead ass, damn titties.
it's like stop giving away my points.
and then it's like you know, one of us just asks like, well, what do you think about the combat system? Like, there's a combat system?
The what?
Does it involve titties?
On some people it does. No, it's like because I put it at number 6 because this is a game that I've had like a bit of a sour taste in my mouth prior, but after giving it a decent shot, it is actually like it is a lot more fun, and I'm glad that I've gone back and made my my revised view of it.
Mm.
If there's anything that I would say that is kind of a gripe, is I think it would have to be like the story mode, because when I like the main purpose of it, like Jeff might be offended for me saying this, but it's just kind of like because this is all I did literally. I heard that that's how you had to get like Inferno. So all I did for the story mode was I just fucking like just forced myself to play through all the freaking Keelik shit, and then the moment I got Inferno, it was just kind of like I'm done. I wasn't like all that engaged, and I'm not even asking for like a movie style like story mode like say Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. But it was just kind of like, for it to be like, because it's a lot of points in the timeline, and I just think to myself like, it's like I would see them, and it's just kind of like I don't have to play any of these characters, and like and so it like there's no drive for me to want to get to know these characters. If there was like say the Valdo slot or like the fucking Shanghua slot, it'd just be like I see them, but I'm not interested in playing them.
I totally get in the Shanghua slot though.
Yeah.
God damn you.
But it's just kind of like that's one of my bigger gripes. But like in terms of like the actual combat and some of the guest characters and a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing and like and playing with is just kind of like no, yeah, the game is absolutely fun. I do not regret getting it one bit. It's like that's just like some of the gripes, but they're not necessarily big gripes. That's about it.
All right, now we can move on to number 5, so that Eddie can join. Yeah.
And so Mrmoopsy can stop breaking my heart.
But this actually might be coming to. Actually, let me do this because this is going to come as a surprise to you, actually, Eddie. My number 5 is Yakuza 6.
You bitch! Wait, hold on. I'm gonna say that's gonna be the same for me, only because I hadn't played it yet.
Fair enough.
Does that even count?
Because the other games that came out this year I've played, but I haven't played Yakuza 6 yet, and I already know Yakuza 6 is going to be a 10 out of 10 experience for me.
Which, yeah, I'm not gonna say much because Eddie's here, but
Yeah,
definitely good. Definitely great combat, all that stuff. Go play it if you had the chance. It's Yakuza. Come on.
Oh yeah, I can. I haven't really. I've pretty much just played 3 and like some of 4, but I can attest to that.
You know, that's all I'm gonna say about that one. So now, Eddie, you can go.
Yeah, mine's Yakuza 6 because it's a Yakuza experience.
I'm not counting that.
All right, so I'll get involved at number 4 then.
Alrighty then.
The list keeps getting smaller.
You stole my shit.
No, I'll have actual games that I've played from 4 to 1.
All right.
All right.
I think I'll start at top 3.
Yeah, I forgot. I have to do my number 5 worse. Which is Dynasty Warriors 9.
What the hell was that laugh?
It was definitely necessary for this game.
Like it just sounded like one of those like little weasel guys, just like when his plan comes together, just.
You know what the worst thing you can do for a Dynasty Warriors game is literally take your character and change the weapon you love them dearly with and put him with a weapon that sucks. And they did that for every single character.
Wait, you take out the weapon and then you do what?
Basically, like the weapons you've loved with your character per se. Let's say Zhao Tai for Eddie. He loves the katana thing that he has. Well,
you know what they did to Zhao Tai, my nigga? They made him twirl like a ballerina.
Exactly.
What the hell?
They basically took their best weapon and said, "Fuck that! We're giving you the most shittiest thing that would work with your character."
That fucking sucks.
Like, I love what's that girl? Wang Yi. I love that girl. She's my girl for Dynasty Warriors.
Wang Yi.
Wang Yi. But like, she has these like giant tri-dagger things that like they do like a major good combo and stuff. They took that and gave her these little knife things. This is like, they call piercers that like Shaolin monks uses. But like, nobody's going to put that in a big battle like the ones in Dynasty Warriors. Which, let's be honest here, they're not exactly big battles because nothing's in the fucking map. But...
And I was about to say, it's like, well, but it's historically accurate. Motherfucker, I don't care if...
No. Dynasty Warriors went wrong because they wanted to make their game like historically accurate, but the game itself is not historically accurate.
Exactly.
So it's just like, why you want to fit the mold now when you're succeeding, when you're doing it?
And it's like, this basically like the Battlefield 5 argument?
No,
not exactly.
Close.
Isn't that about women in war or something like that?
You're kind of close, but no moves. Like the reasons why Battlefield 5 are failing and why Dynasty Warriors is failing are two different things.
Yeah.
It's actually the reason that Dynasty Warriors 9 is doing horrible is almost the same reason why Rainbow Six Siege went down the shitter.
But I thought that game was doing good.
It is not doing too hot right now.
Why? Microtransactions?
No. It's just internal game mechanics. But the thing I'm talking about in particular here is that the game they tried to change the censorship and other things of their game to appease the Chinese government.
What?
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of games are doing that now. Unfortunately,
but that's
what did the Chinese find offensive?
Strip clubs, gambling, blood in a shooting game. I know, right? Go figure.
Shit.
Like,
are you telling me China has none of those things?
No, like, perfect example. There's a shot in Resident Evil 2 Remake where this guy's face is completely torn off. Like, literally just chomped. In their version, his face is still intact.
It's like the zombie just like and then like it like when it's supposed to rip off his face and it does, he's like, "Hey, I'm all better."
Like the government's just kind of like, don't worry, guys, he still has a face.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Even though he's still bloody.
Don't worry, he got to the helpful people and they took him out.
Actually, that reminds me of another thing they did that was kind of stupid like that. In our version, Resident Evil 7, there's a cop that literally dies, and you find his head in the fridge somewhere. In their version, they find a picture in the fridge. And that's that.
Oh, you mean of the police guy?
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't
that's
remember
the
finding
difference.
his head in the fridge.
I thought for a second there, I thought you were going to say in the Chinese version, you just find head of lettuce.
And that's it.
I hate vegetables.
Spooky ass shit. But yeah. You know what the funny thing is? This came after Empire's 8, my favorite Dynasty Warriors. How did you fall so low?
I was gonna say, China has the audacity to take our shit and try to make our ideas their own, and yet they blame us for all this violence and stuff.
I don't know. But no, that's my number 5. Now,
Chats,
Mrmoopsy, your turn.
All right, because I went ahead and tried to make this a little bit faster. So my number 5 is Red Dead Redemption.
2?
Yep.
Good. All right, so go on.
Yeah, because the original came out this year.
Double guy.
I really enjoyed it because there was the game was really chock full of content. There's I know there's a bunch of story stuff that I'm missing. It actually made me care about a lot of the characters that showed up in the original. It expanded a lot of stuff. I did find a lot of the characters compelling, and I did kind of give a shit a little bit when some of the stuff happened to to some of the characters. It is a prequel that I think actually enhances the original, and online component aside, I do think it is a really solid game.
I was gonna say that those are spoilers, Moops.
I didn't say
People aren't supposed to know it's a prequel.
Well, it didn't win
Oh my
Game of the
God.
Year, so who cares?
I still say a little bit undeserved, but okay.
Yeah, it's funny too because it's I know that Red Dead 2 has its own share of glitches, where it's to bring up Joss's point earlier about State of Decay 2, where a bear will just appear out of nowhere.
I've
And,
seen that.
you know-
It's hilarious.
And people playing State of Decay 2 would be like, "Oh, come on, man, fuck you, game." But then with Red Dead Redemption 2's share of glitches, it's I'm pretty sure there's been points where bears just appear out of nowhere, and people would just be like, "Oh shit, man, that's so funny."
It's oh, you just treating it like it's a cheeky game.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that to me is just weird. You can, it doesn't matter the glitch. It's I guess it just matters on how good the quality of the game is.
Sometimes I think it's also centered around the IP because people will give some shit will give more shit to certain games when the shit when the problem is smaller. Sorry to interrupt. When the problem is smaller, but then they'll give other games a pass when the game is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, what were you going to say, Eddie?
Yeah, they give preferential treatment towards games.
Mm-hmm.
It's precisely like how people will eat away at Call of Duty for having a bug or something, and they're just yo, this is 150% grade A garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll turn around and play Fallout 76 for 24 hours in a row, not even play half the time. Oh, the game's kind of quirky.
Mm-hmm. That's just Bethesda.
Yeah, it's just just Bethesda things, baby. Yeah, that's shit. And they're both AAA titles, but because Call of Duty isn't always buggy, when it is buggy, oh man, these niggas suck at making this game. But Bethesda has been having buggy ass games. Even their greatest games are just riddled with more bugs than an infestation. And they're just yeah, man, this game's great. This game's beautiful, man. They always have bugs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what you're so pent up for, man. You should
it's they'll just like instantly forgive it. It's just oh well, they're known to have bugs, and it's just kind of that shouldn't be a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I don't like that shit
Mm-hmm.
at
And I
all.
mean, I'll admit too, like, and I mean, I don't know if it's spoilers, but
Spoilers.
there's a there's that one. It's not really a side quest, but it's just that couple that you can meet in, like, I don't know, the backwoods forest or whatever, that like are basically brother and sister, but they're, you know,
Clapping each
freaky.
other's cheeks.
Yeah. And I remember
For
there's
lack
a
of a better
glitch
term.
where, like, if they were like, this guy pissed him off and, you know, you have to fight them. Well, he basically got on his horse and ran off. Those motherfuckers are still chasing him.
I've seen
Like, both
something
the
like
wife-
that before.
Both the wife and the husband are still chasing him. And then, like, and then there's a part where it shows his character, like, in the middle of, like, a winter, you know, in the mountains, and they're still chasing him.
To this day.
Yeah.
Urban legend.
And it's just like, those are the kind of glitches I love,
Mm-hmm.
especially in Red Dead.
Mm-hmm. I guess we move on to number 4.
Yeah,
I
boy.
believe so. Finally, Eddie can come in.
All right, my number 4, Soul Calibur 6.
What?
Yeah.
How? All right, bro. Run this by me.
So, Mrmoopsy actually brought up something that did bug me, because actually I want to say this is my second favorite Soul Calibur.
Uh-huh.
But
Nani?
Nani the fuck? But he brought up something that actually did bug me about at least the Soul Chronicle story, which was once you got through Keelik's part, you really don't care about the other parts, and it kind of reminded me of Tekken 7's character episodes, where they were there
All right.
but they didn't do anything really.
For a second there, I thought you said Keelik's fart.
Sure.
What?
Sure, let's go with that. So Keelik's fart in the story mode. But like I have to dock points for that because it literally was something that bugged me in Tekken 7. It's like these were unnecessary. And because of my favorite one, which is always going to be controversial, and I can always fight anybody on this, Soul Calibur 3 had...
Fight him, man, fight
him! I mean, does he even play Soul Calibur?
And that was like the real big Soul Calibur I played the most.
Yeah, I always liked the Soul Chronicles of the Sword. Like, that's a big
Yeah.
story to me. That's something.
The only thing I hated was that, like, there's a glitch where it'll make you like unable to move on.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem, where it would glitch and you would just be fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like one of those things. They can't patch it out either because it was PS2. But like when I compare the two games, and like both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. One, Soul Calibur 3 didn't have online, so I couldn't play with my friends like I do now, which is one of the big things I love about Soul Calibur 6. I'm playing with you guys. I'm enjoying the game with my friends. Not saying I didn't with 3. 3 is a special place in my heart for other reasons I will talk way off stream for. But
Now I'll admit too, like,
now I see
'cause
why
I know-
people like 2. I'm not gonna front, but
because I know that, like, the character creation,
the
like,
character
I
creation
know
started
in
3.
you know Soul Calibur 5 and then 3. I don't know if 4 really had a good.
4 was good. It just had stats, and that made things stupid.
But I'll admit, like, I'm surprised just how many, like, how much more you can bring characters in now that, like, that you couldn't do in other Soul Caliburs.
There's a power of NDAs.
Yeah.
Although it still just kind of makes me laugh that put a giant penis on your character.
Which now gets you banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you want to put a penis on your character, man? What the hell?
Hey, character creator, do what you want. Just be careful, I guess.
Children around.
Who wrapped that shit up? But yeah, I love the character customization, as you can see in my video. And I also love the whole character creator thing story, which I forgot what that was called. where it added a lot of interesting tidbits to certain things that didn't make sense in the first two games. And I've loved the online. The online's actually not bad. It's just got a couple of things here and there, like fighting somebody way above your rank.
Or fighting somebody way below your rank too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it sucks when I'm trying to go up the ranks, and then I go against this fucking Sprout G5 guy. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, but I need these points.
Exactly.
He's not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Well, it's like, no, it's okay, because I'll run into somebody that's a B rank for some weird reason. Just go in there, whoop my ass. So it all works out.
And then it adds two characters that add other people to like the game. Like, I call him Jerry. Jerry of River. And 2B.
What?
Trust me, it's easier. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that being said, like, it's good, but it has problems, and I can admit that. Like, literally.
It ain't a perfect game.
Yeah. And they might get ironed out over time, but overall, it still doesn't match up to my favorite one, which is 3. Yeah, that's my number 4. Then my number 4 worst is a game that actually me and Eddie almost really gave some props to a little bit.
Oh,
I know. I know which one.
Oh no!
What game is it?
Metal Gear Survive.
Oh,
Oh yeah!
That game hurt my soul. And it's like, I literally, you can check, I made a video on Shield Tactics. Literally, we were having fun in that. But
Yeah, we were having a good time there.
there were so many problems. First off, your beta doesn't even match what the game's actually about. What?
what was the beta?
It was like co-op, like base defense, all this other stuff. And,
Co-op zombie survival.
basically. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if they add these co-op elements to the actual story and whatnot, this could make it a kind of fun game, I guess, with friends. But no, that's just some extra bullshit that they added that's not even really there until you like beat the game from right here.
What the hell?
Yeah,
That's not fair.
literally, it doesn't make sense that they made that the beta. It really didn't. Because you're putting a selling point you can't even access until you beat the shit game. But that game is just trash. It's absolute trash. I mean, from the zombies that look like something out of a hentai to basically not being able to go somewhere because you don't have enough air, but you have to get air in some other places that are
Just
places...
replace that metal rod thing in their head with dick and just
Exactly. You see what I mean? And then, like, the main people you like about the series of Metal Gear aren't even relevant. You're just some random nobody trying to get back, I guess. The story makes zero sense. It's just, everything about that game is just wrong. And they had the audacity to put that beta to give a little bit of hope. Just the slightest bit of hope. I hate that game.
Look, there's this bit of hope.
I mean, literally, because I was literally talking to Eddie about it. Like, this might have something. It's not great, but it's something.
If they didn't title it Metal Gear Survive, it would have been a pretty cool game.
Exactly. That's exactly what we said.
Yep.
And it's I'm done with this game. All right, number 4 for Eddie. No, Mrmoopsy.
Let's see. My number 4 is Dragon Ball Fighters.
I figured that.
It's like if you've ever listened to an episode of this podcast, this should not surprise you whatsoever. I'm not gonna disagree with you about the story, Jess. Yes, it was pretty bad. one of the things that it pissed me off the most about was the fact that it's just kind of like, oh, we're gonna bring in the Dragon Ball Super characters and absolutely not use them.
I forgot to even mention that. That also bugged me. What's the
Yeah,
point?
'cause exactly. I was just kind of like I was hoping to at least because they have the 3 sections thing. I thought that what they would do is okay, so they're gonna have an adventure where Android 21 is the main villain. Then they're gonna then the next adventure is gonna be something with with Hit, and maybe somehow Goku Black is back or some shit like that. And then they're gonna have something with Frieza, just something. It's 3 variations of the same goddamn story.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I hated that.
That
And then the only time you see Beerus and Weiss was just at the end when they were telling you that oh, there's more to this story than you could ever hope.
Yeah,
well, it's also at the beginning when they say they can't do shit.
Yeah. It's either that they can't do shit or they just don't want to do shit, which I'm just kind of that's par for the course, honestly, with them.
Yeah, that's their character.
Well, then it's well, then why are you here?
Just to look cool.
You could have them not in it, and it wouldn't have changed anything.
Just like the super characters.
Seriously, no. I feel with the super characters, it was worse. At least fucking the thing about having Bills and Whis, you could make the argument that it's just kind of well, someone's gonna ask, well, why can't they help, and then they'll actually bother to fucking tell you at least. With having fucking Hit and Black and those guys, it's just kind of what are they doing here if they're not in the story?
I'm just here to look
service.
cool.
Oh my, that fucking just pissed me off. But I will also say that there were also other things that I did really like. There's little aspects about it, for example, the whole fucking character bond levels. I actually did kind of like that, if I'm perfectly honest. But that's because of a nostalgia thing.
I'm inside you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, seriously. What else? But it's just it didn't make it to top 3 because fucking a point that Jas brought up is that is the lack of defensive options. That bugs the absolute crap out of me. If they I'll tell you what, this though, it would be higher up on my list if they actually made it so that that Z Rush thing, the little X Factor mechanic, if it also worked like the burst system in fucking Guilty Gear, that would already jump the game up a couple points in my eyes, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, some of the there's been some mistakes. There's been some unnecessary characters, fucking base Goku and base Vegeta. Nobody fucking asked for them. I still bitch and moan about how the fact that Cooler and 17 don't have any fucking dramatic finishes. That's fucking idiotic as all hell.
Not even Cooler with Goku.
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
Aw.
People have checked. They've got nothing.
That's stupid.
Yes, it is. But I still really like the character. Or the characters. I still like the game. I'm still a fan. Though there are I'm a fan, but it has headaches. Even in the last episode, I was fucking complaining about how there's a fucking mode that I want to play, they won't let me play. And it just kind of it's kind of like that thing. It's kind of like that thing where you're just kind of I love you, Dragon Ball, but fuck's sake, you guys are stupid. It's the same way people find me appealing.
Damn, not like this.
But
not like this.
But yeah, for me, Dragon Ball is number 4.
All right, Eddie, bring us home.
All right, number 4 best Sword Art Fatal Bullet.
Oh, here we go with the weeb shit. No, I'm just.
At least I showed up to this podcast on time. Nah, man, weeb shit, and guns. Well, do I need to say more? Come on now, harems and shit.
Not really, no.
Look, man, I could have took this. Look, I could have took Asuna from Kirito in this fucking game. I could have cut this man and his wife at the same damn time if I wanted to. All right, I'm on top of the fucking world. Can't nobody tell me shit.
I mean, I was gonna say that, like, I do feel, I imagine some people feel like fucking Kirito is like the last person that deserves a harem.
He doesn't deserve a harem because he ain't acting on his harem. He's just like, I gotta be faithful to my wife. What an asshole.
Someone says like fag.
Yeah. No, all BS aside, it's a very fun game. Like I have almost 100 hours in it, and I think that's also because I did get the game for free. So there's that. So you know what I mean. So there's clearly some bias there. Like, of course, I'd enjoy a game a little bit more, as fun as it is, just because it was free.
That won't always help, though. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I say check out some gameplay of it because the mechanics of the game are pretty cool in and of itself. Like, the game runs really well.
It's like, well, I'm not saying specifically for Sword Art. I'm just saying that, like, the whole free shit does not always help a shitty game.
Oh. Well, yeah, if it's shitty no matter what. But even then, like, I didn't pay anything, so that could be why I'm enjoying it more.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. It has co-op, it has PvP in there too. They're constantly making improvements to the game as well.
Yeah. All right. I guess we get on to number 3, unless Venom has one.
No, I have my top 3 ready now.
All right. So my number 3, God of War.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, it gets bronze, huh?
Only bronze. Well, because of something that actually Mrmoopsy brought up. It's the enemy variety. Like, you literally fight like a troll, right? And it's like a pretty good fight. Like, all right, that's pretty cool. On to the next thing. And then you'll fight a fire version of that same troll. This is like, okay, sure. And then you'll fight like a leaf version of that troll. This is like...
Yeah, that's some lack... Like I always hate that in that's one of the things I always hated, like in RPGs too, where like they do that. Like even in Monster Hunter kind of does that, where like you fight a Rathian, which is like a green wyvern, but then you fight a Rathalos, which is just a red version.
Well, have you know that's the male, and the Rathian is the female. You assume gendered bitch.
But then, like, too, because then there's that, what was it, the Paulumu, which has like the similar body type to like a Rathalos and a Rathian, except with like a cute little squirrely
like
face.
Mrs. Puff.
Yeah. And I'm like, I do kind of always hate that.
Like, for me, because here's the thing. For me, it's I don't always mind the whole bringing a boss as an enemy thing, because I do see it as, like, you know, it's a sign that, like, you've been improving, you know, like, it's like something that you consider tough in the beginning is basically like bitched here now that you're like higher level. But the problem with God of War was that it's just kind of like you're fighting the same guy over and over and over. And it's kind of like if there was, like, say, like a 4 or 5 other monsters too to add to some variation to that'd be one thing. But because it's like, well, I think there was like they had like dark elves and shit, but they're like locked off to this one region, so you almost never see them. And then they've got I think it's like they have some monsters that are like region locked, so you don't really care, and you're mostly like in Midgar. And then, like, they've got their enemy type, but the problem is, though, it's just kind of like, that's all you see. That's where, like, you spend, like, 80% of the game in. And so then it's just kind of like, well, of course you keep running into the same trolls. The problem is, though, that it's just like, you keep running into the same trolls.
Yeah, it got tedious. A lot of fights just got really tedious at times. Love the story, though.
I think Lee said something about he's playing through the game on the hardest difficulty, and the game is actually different. Like, the enemies on ultra hard difficulty don't do the same moves as the enemies on normal difficulty.
Which is actually, it's funny you say that, because I actually went back just to see, because I did hear about that. It's like, well, maybe it's just for a casual audience. And while that is true, it still doesn't help the fact that it feels tedious, because I can still use the same strategy. Like, throw axe, repeat. Hey, Atreus, shoot an arrow at him so I can get close. Okay, cool.
Plus,
throw axe, repeat.
Plus, when I was playing God of War, I was basically starting off on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, I started in normal, and then I went to the hardest after I beat it, just to see what the difference was. And, like it's there. It's not that noticeable in my opinion.
Right.
Because like I know that like because one game that I wish would that like where they did this in this one game, and I wish other games would do this is like because you've played Ninja Gaiden Sigma, haven't you, Jess?
Yes.
Yeah, the difficulty change literally changes the character models so that they're basically like crazier versions. So like say you play like in normal, you'll fight like these military dudes, and if you play like on very hard, you're kind of fighting those same military dudes, but they've got like so much brand new gear. These guys are almost unrecognizable to their normal counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a mechanic that I love, and I wish that other companies would bring that back.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you on that. But no, that's
Nice.
just my biggest pet peeve. It's just it felt tedious when it really shouldn't have. Game is great. I love the story more than Mrmoopsy did, but that hit a little bit too much.
Calling me an asshole, will you?
Don't get me started.
Why I oughta.
That's my number 3. Mrmoopsy basically said anything else I needed to say. My number 3 worst is a game that I actually ranted about to Mrmoopsy, which is Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. I mean, let's be honest here, we knew this was going to be bad. But it wasn't even the fact that it was bad. It was the fact that it was self-funded to do all these things, and none of them happened. It had self-funded, it reached its goal to be co-op. That wasn't in the game. It was self-funded to actually be a fighting part 2, just like the original Shaq Fu. That didn't happen. It was self-funded to have like Shaq do some lines for the backers. That didn't happen. Everything that was backed didn't happen except for the base game. And then they came up with some DLC with Obama and shit, and it was actually even better than the regular game, which made no sense. And the fighting was terrible. The references were way out of date. You were literally fighting a butt that was supposed to be like the whole Kim Kardashian thing from like 2017, I think. I don't know.
Nobody cares at this point.
Exactly. Way old. And honestly, like the very first level they showed off, because I remember telling Mrmoopsy, it's just like, you know what, this actually might be so bad it's good. Because they called Shaq like burnt rice or something, since he's supposed to be like growing up in Asia or whatever. It's just like, that's kind of funny actually. But the rest of the dialogue is just plain either blatantly racist or just boring. And that's basically the game in a nutshell. Blatantly racist and boring. But yeah, it's like I even told Mrmoopsy there's a line that they put in there that we know that Shaq didn't put read that line. They got it from a commercial and put it in the game. Yeah, that's my number 3. Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn. Terrible game. They should be ashamed, and Shaq should be ashamed to even be a part of it.
I mean, I don't. If he wasn't recording the lines though, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a part. So fucking. It's just one of those things where it's just kind of like, it's bad if he's fucking stepping away from it.
Well, I'm calling him a part of it because he did do some commercials for it. So if he did some commercials for it, he's a part of it.
Okay, no, yeah, that's a fair point.
But,
I was not aware of that one.
Yeah, so, yeah, bad game. Apparently it's made by somebody in Russia, too. So it's just like,
The Russians strike again.
But yeah, that's my number 3 worst. On to our number 2. No, your number 3. Mrmoopsy.
Oh wait, that's did I do my number 3 or I don't know. I'm drunk. No, I'm not.
You're drunk.
My number 3 is Smash.
Smash. The Nintendo boy don't like it.
You done?
Not much.
Boy, I'm gonna smash your face.
It's like, you done? Hold on, I got to like 3 more verses.
Oh, let me spit these bars, man.
Like, the game's amazing. World of Light is... Because, like, I'm getting close to the end on that. The problem is that it's just kind of like, it's taking me so long because, honestly, it's really rather tedious. Because, like, I was thinking about this morning, like when you were asking me, Jess, if like if you know how the map is, when you get around it, is it possible for you to sort of streamline it?
Mm.
And like where I'm at right now, I would change my answer from like maybe, but I doubt it, to like fuck no.
Mm.
It is way like not streamlined. Like a lot of times the maps like fucking take forever, and like you mix that in with the tedium, it's just kind of like, oh man, this freaking mode was like so unnecessary.
Doesn't it need like certain spirits too to get to certain places?
You do, but the problem is though that it's just kind of like it's kind of like, say that there's like a spirit that you know where it is, like from the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still have to go through, like, say, I'm just gonna throw like a random number, like 5 to 7 spirits that you have to fight that are unnecessary before you get to the necessary one.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you will say you need around 5 to 6 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already like a shit ton of like of tedium, and then you still have to go through all the dungeons and you have to clear that. So that's a bunch of that's like another, like, I'm just gonna throw out like 10 spirits you have to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to find like, and then you have to unlock a bunch of paths. Then there's a bunch of other world maps you have to clear, and then do like the same process over there a bunch of times. It's just like it really, like, the grind really starts to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was only able to do it like in bursts, essentially. Also talking about this, I'm gonna ask something after this. And then so what was I? And then of course the most notorious thing is the fucking online.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God, is it bad?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like after the more time I've spent with it, the worse my opinion's gotten. I've railed on the freaking Discord chat like so many times about how fucking, like, it's just pissing me off, and how irritating it is.
Now, do you play like right next to the router?
Where my Switch is, yeah,
And it's still that bad?
it's still that bad.
It's bad for a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people
like,
have been complaining like that.
I know that I probably should get like the adapter for the LAN cable, because I can do that. I have the cable available. The problem is I just have to get the adapter. But I just know that, like, even if I get that, it'll still just be like a clusterfuck of bad experiences, because if it's not the rules that are broken, it's the connection that's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And at the rate that you're going, even if you fix that, you're still going to be going against laggy people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because it's kind of like, yeah, I can fix my problems, but what about the other people?
Exactly.
And so that's my number 3. But I will say though, there's like, internet problems aside, I have been able to play with some friends on just like lobbies and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I can, like, it's like I can still have fun. But if I want to take this game like tournament seriously, I cannot do it with my current setup,
Mm-hmm.
or with like with the current netcode, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Or me, I played it too, and I had fun. And the best day that I spent trying to fist people.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great time. I did manage to win a game with Captain Falcon though.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm saying, it's like the game itself is not bad. It's the netcode though that is just kind of like, that's the biggest headache.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very unfortunate that people are still trying to play this game. No offense to you, but the game itself is not made to be competitive like this, and yet people are constantly trying to make this game competitive.
I don't know, because I'll disagree with you on that, because it's like the game can actually be competitive. The problem is though that it's just kind of like the stuff that you would use for preparation, which is essentially fighting people online. It's not in a good place.
Dope.
So because of that, like that's where like we're having, like, that's where the game kind of suffers right now, because it's like, yeah, the game like Smash does work. I feel like does work as a competitive. It can work as a competitive game. Just look at like the fact that like it might not be my favorite in the franchise, but the fact that Melee's been able to go on for as long as it has, it's got something to say about like the build up of the game, the setup of the game. But it's like to be able to properly prepare yourself, which would be the online functions. That's hot garbage. I hate to say.
Hot garbage.
Alrighty.
Just smash stuff, man.
That's what it's like, man. Do you like that?
What am I, some sort of item on Scrub?
Yes.
Well, we ain't saying. We're just saying. No.
Are you seeing what we're saying?
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Eddie's
Are you
probably a
getting-
Bayonetta man.
Are you getting the
No,
spit that I'm flapping?
Nigga, did you not listen to me when I was talking about playing Smash? I'm a Captain Falcon man. Were you not listening, you fucking pleb moops? Come on.
No. I guess we're on this off smash to number 3 for Eddie.
Number 3 for
wait.
me.
Wait, because like there was also one thing I was gonna ask, because like we never got like Venom's review of Smash, and now that he's here.
Smash!
Yeah, I would say Smash would probably be in my top 3. Mostly because, like, I just love how complete it is.
Everyone's here.
Everyone's here.
Except, I am sad that they couldn't bring in just Charizard, like an Echo Fighter of Charizard. Because I did like the idea of Charizard's Final Smash being that he just transformed Charizard X.
I feel like what they should have done, they should have maybe had like a special function, like the way that other characters have like alternate costumes, and it's like a different model. I feel like they should have done something like that with like Pokemon Trainer.
Yeah, maybe. But then I do like
just say off that point, I'm just imagining like him as a Charizard like X or whatever, but then the Pokemon is like Oni, like the Pokemon trainer is just like fucking jacked in blue. We're both.
Yeah. You fight us both.
It's like, everyone's here.
Every time you
And then,
do
like-
the Smash thing, it's just like the Akuma symbol pops up on the trainer.
or it's like they beat the character and just game, and then like they do the Predator handshake, like Charizard Pokemon trainer just like slap their hands together. You just see their bulging muscles.
No, please continue, Philip.
But then I will say, like, the World of Light storyline, it's like I still love Subspace Emissary better.
You don't
Like-
Kirby?
I mean, I like Kirby, but it's just like there's really no depth in it.
Sakurai would not
Like-
have this nonsense.
like look at like in Subspace Emissary, like there was the what was his name? The
Taboo, I think.
not Taboo. Well, I know Taboo was pretty cool, but then like the thing that Rob was before he was Rob.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name.
It was like the something general,
Mm.
and like you kind of there's that one scene where you see what's happening with all Rob that they've been creating, and that they're just turning into weapons for Taboo to use.
Mm.
And then there's that part when freaking Ganondorf just like commands them all to attack everyone, including the general. And he's like, you kind of start to sympathize with him. And then like the part when you just see all the Robs shoot him, and it's like, oh my god, like, no, the general.
Yeah.
And it's like I kind of wish, World of Light could have had that kind of in-depth, that feel to it.
Mm. There you go. That your review?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I still give it a 9 out of 10.
Mm.
It's just World of Light needs to be more creative, and Kirby can suck my dick. Anyway,
Sakurai would not have
How
any of this.
Big Daddy Sakurai is being mean to me.
Gonna kill you like you did all the other characters.
And then I don't really have a worst game, so you can go ahead.
All right, Eddie, number 3.
My number 3 is Black Ops 4.
Yes, I saw that coming.
Did you really?
I really did.
Yeah.
You know what?
You'll really be surprised by 2 and 1.
You know what? I'll put it in not as a bad game, but as a disappointing game of Black Ops 4.
You know that's a synonym for bad, right?
You know I don't give a flying fuck, right?
You should, man. That's how English works.
No,
I
like to be
boy.
It's not a perfect game by no means, nor will I ever claim it to be. However, this is the first Call of Duty game that has brought someone whose gaming background legit started with Call of Duty back to Call of Duty after all these years. Because I hadn't played a COD game since Black Ops 3. So it's been like a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since. Or rather,
I mean, to my fairness, I haven't played it since the time where like I couldn't even play a multiplayer match because the game kept freaking disconnecting me every time. So I don't know if they fixed the connectivity issues. So I'm hoping they did. So maybe I can go back into it.
perhaps.
Because and I've played at my friend's house and he has godlike internet, and I mean, it's okay when people are actually being a team.
Yeah, but that's just COD stuff, man.
I don't know. I feel like people are, they lose brain cells just trying to play, and then like once the game's over, it's like they come back into reality.
No, that's just how the matchmaking is. And this is somebody who is a victim, who is a constant victim of horrible matchmaking.
That's
Like,
COD,
trust me.
boys.
Yeah, but that's just COD for you.
We them COD boys.
But
Although
yeah.
I do like that with every expansion pass they bring in a new character for multiplayer and new characters for Blackout.
Yeah, boy.
And I mean, of course, every new zombies.
Yeah, like this is like zombies still need some work, but they're coming along with it.
Alrighty. We're on to our number
Yeah.
2s.
On to the number 2s, baby.
Alright. My number 2 is a game I'm sure none of y'all have heard of. Return of the Overden.
I'm sorry, man. There's only one return I know of, and that's the map.
Hey. I fucks with that.
that was good though, right?
I was about to say too, Gazoon type.
But no. This game is an indie game that came out about 3 months ago. Definitely a different art style, and it's about you being an investigator who goes on a ship to figure out who basically killed everybody on the ship. And you're finding out clues and dodging all these people and whatnot. It's a very fun game, but I don't want to spoil it because the mystery actually has a very, really good twist on it. And the art, literally, you look at it graphically and you're like, what the hell? This is weird. But it's it adds charm to a game that I feel like a lot of games are missing these days.
The twist is that SpongeBob did it.
Of course. He always does.
You just spoiled everything.
No, I'm not gonna say too much about that one. Just if you're
Hold on,
really,
was it that game where you played as a detective and they had real people acting out everything, or is that a completely different
game? I know which one you're talking about. That
Okay.
game was interesting to say the least.
Isn't that like the night shift or?
Something like that. But yeah, I know which one you're talking about. That is a very interesting game. Not amazing, but it's worth a look. Yeah, that's my number 2 best. My number 2 worst is actually something that I actually said was bad at the middle part of the year, and has not changed. Agony.
Oh,
I mean, to put it bluntly, like all the other journalists did, agony was agony to go through. Just saying. As every other journalist has said.
it makes Dante's Inferno.
It really makes Dante's Inferno look like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
By comparison. Like,
especially with their depictions of hell. Like, I feel like Dante's Inferno did better with their depictions of hell.
Exactly.
Than Agony.
And that's saying a lot, because Dante's Inferno was trash. I mean, I've ranted about it. I'm not going to rant anymore. If you want to really see, go back to our other podcast. I think it was number 7. And just check out there. It's a bad game, bad story, bad mechanics. Like, the graphics are the only saving grace, and they fall apart halfway through the game. Because there's, like, things popping in and out. There's literally there's one thing that scared me in that game, and that's because it literally popped in out of nowhere.
The fact that the game was so bad.
It's like you're supposed to stealth behind this monster thing or whatever, and I got past the monster only for it to pop right in front of me somehow and just kill me. It's like, huh? Like, it made me jump a little bit. Like, what the fuck?
The scariest thing is that in the abyss of hell, file 404 was not found.
I wish. It would have made me not play that damn game.
Out there behind you, nothing personnel, kid. Just stabbed into your asshole.
I'm just gonna take your money.
No, that game is bad. 0 out of 10. IGN. Not enough water.
Too much blood. Not enough nipples.
If only there was enough blood. I don't think there was blood in that game. Now that I think about it.
In the game set in hell?
Exactly. I don't even think there was any blood in that game. I think you died and then that was it.
Jesus Christ, how do you feel that bad?
That's just the beginning. I haven't even told you some of the other worst parts, but you don't need to know that.
And I remember like that you went on that tangent the last time we had this freaking conversation.
Yeah, I don't want to go back there. I'm in my own personal hell.
But you can go back and listen to that episode.
Exactly.
You could say that Agony put you in your own personal hell.
Ting, get out.
Dice sickness.
But that's my number 2. Mrmoopsy.
Let me see. My number 2 was Spider-Man.
Ooh, got him.
I thought for a second there, I was thinking that Mrmoopsy put that as like his worst of the 2.
Damn, I like this.
Not enough sneaking missions. 0 out of 10.
I mean, like, if you've played it, do I really have to say anything? My biggest regret is the fact that there's no Venom in it, but I can still live with that.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Yeah.
But it's just like that's honestly like my biggest regret. Everything else is just kind of like, if I've mentioned that I have a problem with it, it's a quibble. It's a freaking minuscule ass problem. Like, yeah, I mentioned like some of the gadgets and some of the fighting, but it's just kind of like, do I ultimately think it's a bad game? Fuck no! Stop thinking that, Venom.
Damn, Venom, why you gotta be like this, dog? I thought we trusted you.
I know, seriously. You open up, man, and he blows it up in my face.
I made you my best man at my wedding. This is how you repay me?
I think you were just high off of cocaine that day.
I was.
Thanks for noticing.
You're supposed to be the best man at my wedding. Instead, I find you fucking my wife in her ass.
The fuck?
It's like super soap opera. Days of our lives.
And you say it's my fault?
But no, it's like the game's just really freaking really amazing, and it's kind of like I can't wait for the sequel. It's just plain and simple. I've got like so few problems with it, honestly.
Alrighty, I guess Eddie now.
Number 2.
Yep.
Yes.
Soul Calibur 6.
What? Higher than me? Damn.
I know, what the hell's
Yeah.
wrong with you, Jess?
I lost it.
So, Soul
I lost
Calibur
my touch.
6.
Nani?
I told you,
Only-
it's dad ass and dem titties.
And it is precisely because I'm enjoying the Soul Calibur series now,
Hey,
and I'm
That's
having a lot of fun with it.
word. I'm glad. No, like honestly, it's literally like one of my biggest things about Soul Calibur 6 is I have other friends who enjoy this game. And that's like the biggest thing I wanted for the game. Be it, I guess that's it for you, Eddie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're very, very simple list out of me. I enjoy the game, so therefore it's on the list.
Word.
So
Venom.
for me, my number 2, I think would have to be. Actually, for me, it would have to be, I think, Super Mario Odyssey.
Did that come out? I don't think it came out last year.
I thought it came out Yeah, it had to.
I'm curious
It's like
now.
the big thing.
Let's say because I'm actually thinking the same thing.
Let me see. I'm gonna look it up right.
Yeah, let me look it up too.
Let's see. It came out.
No, yeah, it came out October 27th, 2017.
That's what,
What
I
the
thought.
hell? Okay, then never mind. I guess I'll say. Fist of the North Star Lost.
That is a very interesting game.
I
Yeah.
really want to play that.
And I mean, it's like what freaking Rio or Yakuza Studios did with Fist of the North Star. It's just like, it works. Like you think like, with Fist of the North Star, it wouldn't. The goofy mini games, you think they wouldn't work, but they work perfectly well. Especially the bartender games.
Mm-hmm.
Where you freaking just like stare, and then like I would love to drink alcohol called "You're Already Drunk," like
I mean, I will say, because like one of the games that I do like that's from Fist of the North Star is Ken's Rage, the Tecmo Koei Dynasty Warriors style Fist of the North Star.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I actually
That
really
one
do
has
like
some
that
really
one.
good. I have some like the music is just surprisingly good in that game.
Oh,
It has-
seriously, like when you're fighting the last boss and like the fucking music starts playing, and that shit hypes you up like fucking crazy.
Like I have some of the music on my iPod.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm surprised that Kiryu's actor can like really do the high notes of what the
Mm-hmm.
and so like kudos to them for just making a really good game with that license.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully maybe they'll do more in the future.
I did hear great things.
Like you imagine a Dragon Ball Z game made by Yakuza Studio?
That would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be interesting, though, if I'm perfectly honest. Outside of like fighting games, it's harder for
Hello?
like Dragon Ball to be what the hell?
What? What?
Because Venom, can you hear us?
Nope.
Yeah, apparently like he's having
Hello?
some technical difficulties.
Hello, DOD.
Venom's having technical difficulties.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Oh well.
But anyway, because I was saying like outside of like fighting games, I think Dragon Ball has a harder time like working as like an action game.
Hmm.
But I mean that's just me.
Oh. Well, we're waiting for Venom to come back. Did anybody have any honorable mentions?
No.
I did.
Okay, so at least I'm not alone on this one.
Okay.
I just want to go through these like real quick. Beware, it's a demo where you're in a car, it's a horror game, and you're literally just driving a car away from these people who are trying to kill you. You don't literally get out of the car, the entire thing is in the car, it sounds weird and kind of dumb, but in execution, it's actually very, very good. And I hope they make more of it. Celeste, because of the whole mental illness thing, I always appreciate people who try to bring that out and talk about that kind of stuff in a positive light. Dead Cells, basically side-scrolling Dark Souls, but like really, really fun in its own. Valkyrie Chronicles, turn-based games, very cool. Shooting stuff, and Subnautica for the underwater adventure thing that's been kind of blew up on YouTube.
Generally like the Valkyria Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a problem with like Venom's internet because he's just logged off.
Yeah.
Well, we're running without him for now.
Yeah.
But now we can get to, unless you want to do yours next.
I mean, I just had one, which was Mario Tennis.
Fair enough.
Number one.
No,
honorable mention.
Yeah.
I haven't played enough games to have an honorable mention.
Yeah.
He didn't have a 10.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, you didn't even have 5.
Yeah, he had 4. So, my number 1 should be coming no shock to anybody who knows me. Spider-Man. I mean,
I am shocked.
I mean, literally, when you make something that, like, you know, like in like most open world games where like you have to get from point A to point B with like driving cars or horses or something like that. Mm-hmm. When you make a game where that actually is something I literally do on my own, which is the basic swinging around and all that stuff, and I find that like appealing, comforting, and almost therapeutic in itself. That's something, literally.
Yeah.
And then
like,
oh, go ahead.
Because I was gonna say, you take Red Dead for example. It can get kind of tedious, fucking driving around on that horse. You cannot wait to keep swinging that Spider-Man.
Exactly. Like, oh, I get to do cool shit while swinging and all that other shit. Oh, hell yeah! I'll take the long way. But I mean, and honestly, it was funny because I told Mrmoopsy this. This game literally made me dock points for Homecoming. Literally, because of the basic story, like, when it came to this game versus the story of Homecoming's still a good movie. Don't get it twisted. Very good movie. But then I thought about who Spider-Man really was as a Spider-Man nerd that I am. And I literally thought to myself, this is more Spider-Man than that movie was. Because everything he really did in the Spider-Man game had consequence. It was something that really affected him to make him really look like the everyday man who has a hard life, like he is in the comics. Unlike Homecoming, where he may have had one real consequence, and the others is just like, okay, whatever, sure, bye. And then that ending. Oh my gosh, that ending.
Oh, yeah, that ending actually got me too.
Oh, and you didn't play the DLCs, Mrmoopsy. But they did do, I don't know if this is in the base game, so if it is, let me know. But in the end of the last DLC, they do a tribute for Stan Lee.
That's probably like in the last DLC then, because I haven't beaten the game on New Game Plus yet, but I haven't seen any tribute to him.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, I don't know. It could be they added it as like a patch or something. But, like, that automatically, like, tipped it over for me, too. It's like, you added something like that. You didn't even have to, really.
I mean, like for the Spider-Man, there's a little part of me that feels kind of bad because fucking, what's it called? Insomniac got bullied into adding the Sam Raimi suit.
Which is another thing I was going to bring up. Where you have, like, these companies like Bethesda, Activision, doing all this DLC for money and stuff. Not only did they do that suit, they gave it to you for free.
Yep.
And it's just like, wow. Literally, they didn't even have to do this. But because the people just like outright bullied them into it, and they did it on the holidays too, so you know they were working overtime. I mean, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
They're like,
when you put it like that, they kind of deserve to win Game of the Year over Red Dead.
Which is like, yeah, like honestly, in my personal opinion, like Spider-Man dude, whatever, call me whatever you want. They deserved Game of the Year for me. But yeah, it was just such a good game, and I literally not even playing the missions anymore. Sometimes I just turn it on when I need a break from something and just swing. Literally, I can't think of the last time I did that except for Saints Row 3 when they had like the dildo bat and shit. This is like that's kind of funny. But yeah, that's literally the last time I did that. So for a game to make me go back to it just to do one particular thing like that says so much to me. So that was literally like my literal 10 out of 10 game. Yeah, and that's my number one. Now my number one worst is something I've also ranted about on here. Literally spoiled the entire story, which, I mean, let's be honest here, you don't need to know anything about this damn game.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, my internet, just cut out.
Welcome back, Venom.
Yeah, we figured, yeah. We were just going over, number one, and Jazz's number one was Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's my best game.
Okay.
Yeah, and my worst is The Quiet Man.
Oh, God. Or as we like to call it, silence. Literally.
Literally. It's like, oh, they're talking. You can't hear anything. Is that his mom or his girlfriend or his sister? Who the fuck is that?
Nobody knows and nobody cares.
Exactly.
And then the fact that they had to put in an update so that you could finally hear what they're saying,
which defeats the purpose of the game itself.
It's like, Square, you really dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. After one time I was going back and just listening to the podcast just for shits and giggles, and then when we got to that freaking game, I was just like, I don't think I've ever heard of this game. Let me double check it. And I saw the fucking trailer for it, and I was just kind of like, oh my god, I can't believe I remember the game now. Mm-hmm. It's that fucking one where we were joking. It's just for the E3 pod where we were just thinking oh, we should just joke about how fucking instead he should go out, walk up and punch a grandma and shit. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of wow, I cannot believe that Square made a fuck up that fucking horrendous.
Mm-hmm. And then I was talking to my mom about it literally, and I was just thinking to myself, this is a racist wet dream. Because literally, you can't hear anything. You're beating up Mexicans and black people, and you literally, that's it. That's the game. You just beat up random minorities as a white dude. You can't.
And I'm thinking to myself, we didn't get Sleeping Dogs 2 for this?
Really? That did cross my mind near the end. It's okay, really? We got this.
I would rather have Sleeping Dogs 2.
Oh god, that game was absolutely trash. And the only saving grace is that it's only 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes long. That being said, that's 2 hours way too damn long. Because even the story itself should have been done within 15 to 20 minutes at max. Because it doesn't make any sense. I'm still trying to figure out who the girl is. And then you fight your dad for some reason, and you're bird demons, and what the fuck? What happened?
And then Barney shows up, and then Cactuars, and then there's a DLC fight with Lara Croft for some reason.
That would have made the game a point better, because it gets a 0 out of 10 for me. But that's my worst. I did have some, I guess, dishonorable mentions, as we would call them. Which is Fear Effect Sentinel, We Happy Few, Secret of the Mana, the remake? Yeah, that was trash. Sea of Thieves, and a game I'm sure none of y'all have heard of, but I've only heard of through Markiplier and other people, was Super Seducer, How to Talk to Girls.
Oh, I've seen pictures, or I've seen thumbnails of videos that play it.
That game wants to be The Room so bad. Literally, and it just jumped right over it. So really bad. Yeah, those are my dishonorable mentions. So, Mrmoopsy, your turn.
All right, my number one game. I feel like Jess is probably gonna be I'm not surprised. It's Monster Hunter.
Not surprised in the slightest. But
that's because that was the last one on the list. But it's like my biggest reason why it's number one. You think it's because of like, oh, it's because he's fucking played it before and all this shit, and it's just kind of like because he's a veteran, right? That's not the reason why. For me, the biggest reason why I have Monster Hunter as my number one is because it is the game that I've had the most fun with by playing with multiplayer. I've got because a lot of the games that I have on my list for for this year alone, it's like I have lots of multiplayer a lot of them that have multiplayer. They've the problem with it is that it's just kind of like for some games it'll be either like okay we play it for like a couple weeks and then we just drop it, or we fucking or we just like almost never play online together to the point that it's kind of like it almost like it almost doesn't even register.
Mm-hmm.
But for Monster Hunter, I had like so much fun with it because of like just how many fucking times I've been able to like play with you guys, with my family, with my brother. I've been able to play with like just like a bunch of different people. Basically like throughout the whole span of the game, just being able to like fucking hunt monsters, chill, be able to like fucking act stupid and shit. Be able to work together and coordinate attacks and all that stuff. It was just kind of like it's like the whole experience, regardless of the amount of content in the game, was actually like what I enjoyed the most about it. That's why I'm so hyped for Iceborne too. Is that it's just kind of like it's gonna be like one of those like the gangs back together things. Like I'm sure that fucking like if I tell Jazz the guinea pig argument, he'll fucking start like giggling a little bit because he'll remember what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like
I like how Jazz is like, remember.
But it's just kind of like it's that the biggest reason why is that's because that's the biggest thing for me. I've had so much fun playing in the multiplayer. Yeah, killing the monsters is fun and stuff. Even getting to tout my record a little bit was kind of like funny too. Because like when I was talking to my boss one time, he was like, we were talking Monster Hunter, and he says that he couldn't get past the first Anjanath, which apparently he tells me that people call the wall. And so he told me a story about how it's just kind of like, oh, I fucking threw my controllers through the wall. I had to it broke my wall, so I had to fix my wall, and I never played the game ever again.
Jeez.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of like and I told him it's just kind of like you want to fight like the behemoth in Final Fantasy, you won't be able to get to do that, friend. But that like that's fun, but the part that I had the most fun with was just kind of like the whole group hunting that we've managed to do. That like that's the biggest part that I've enjoyed myself with, which is why like Monster Hunter is my number one.
Yeah, not surprised.
Venom's like, that's stupid.
Now, I think for my number one, I think would have to go to Spider-Man.
Hey, 2 number ones.
Because I just love the fact. Now, my reasoning for putting Spider-Man number one is just
it's
the
purely
fact.
sexual.
Clearly, without a doubt.
If you could consider it that. The fact that, like I said, you could wear alternate costumes, and the developers at Insomniac programmed it so the costumes would still be on you during the cutscenes, and it's like I always love that in games because you want to wear this suit and you want to see them act in that suit or whatever. And it's just like that's why when I play other games that do that, and the cutscenes happen and they're in the original attire, and it's like, aw.
Yeah, like you want to see the costume. You worked hard to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like,
and paid money for it.
And it's just like Spider-Man to me kind of quenched my thirst in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like I said, the villains were good. I like the ending. Well, I mean, like, I liked it because it's, heart-wrenching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because also, I want to say... Well, I mean, both work. Because, like, one thing I also want to give props to is how they messed around with Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I don't know if you've seen this video, Jazz, about, like, for Double Toasted, when they talk about when Martin talks about why he likes Spider-Man 3 over Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the points he makes is that like when they made Spider-Man 2, they tried to give him something of a Mr. Freeze origin where like he goes crazy because of the tragedy of his wife. And I kind of agree with him that it's just kind of like they don't do it as well as they think they do.
Mm.
And it's like it's not bad, and I like the movie and everything, but it's just kind of like I can agree with his point there. And then you've got like this version of Doctor Octopus, where it's just kind of like he's a man with like a deteriorating disease and all that. And I think that and that's part of the reason why he goes crazy, along with like the equipment that he's using. And I feel like that's actually like a good revamp to his origins instead of him just being a crazy scientist.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I will fight Martin on that, but that makes sense.
With my fists.
Sure, you can. But that's it for your number one, Venom.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for a dishonorable mention, I mean, I've never played it, but nah, you know what? Never mind, because I don't know if it was really bad or whatever.
Do it.
Which one?
I would say Life is Strange 2.
Really?
I don't know. It's just like, what's the point? You know?
Too many lesbians.
But I mean, like, because like you got these new kids, and I guess there's new superpowers involved or something.
Yes, it's an entirely different story. Like you start with the I forgot what the prequel they had set out for free was.
Before the Storm?
Not but
the Captain something.
Yeah, that one.
Oh.
You start off with that one and it leads into Life is Strange 2. That's what I was saying, like I'm surprised you said that one was your dishonorable mention. A lot of people like that.
Do they?
Yeah. Like, I didn't like it as much as the first one because, I mean, the first one was insane. With what they did and how they pulled that off was also insane.
Well, plus they had, hot punk girls and...
Yeah, lesbians always add to the story.
Yeah. I guess that's why I didn't like it. No lesbians. That's why I said it was a dishonorable mention.
I respect that.
Like, I don't hate it because I haven't played it yet. I just don't like it because there's no lesbians. Or no punk lesbians.
Yeah. Sure. I'll give you that. Sort of. Eddie, your number one?
Monster Hunter World. Because out of all the games, because even despite me taking a super long break from it, it's one of those games that it's a co-op game. It's only more enjoyable with your friends. I can play Soul Calibur against a friend and have a hard time. I can play Call of Duty with friends and have a hard time. I can play Sword Art with and against friends and it can be a hard time. But Monster Hunter, it's either all fun or we have fun whether we win or we get our asses handed to us on a silver platter.
Fair enough. Honestly, that really did surprise me because of the whole hiatus thing you had.
No, Call of Duty will never be my number one. Soul Calibur as a fighting game cannot be a number one. Nor will it ever be because it's a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how I am about that pesky fighting game community.
No, yeah. Fucking FCC, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Just fighting game stuff, man.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that is our top 10. And like I thought, that took a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to hit any of these other ones real quick?
Bungie leaving Activision. Now we will definitely see whether the fault lied on Activision or if it landed on Bungie.
I was gonna put
I want to save that one for the next one, honestly, because I want to see how it develops.
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe I'd be down to talk about the fake gamer girl if you guys are interested.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, I can say something on that. The fake gamer girl thing was like a double-edged sword.
Definitely double-edged.
Yeah, seriously. Freaking every side got played hardcore.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like it's like, man, a pro player for Overwatch no less, decided it'd be a good idea to make a brand new account and pretend to be a girl as a social experiment, just to check the toxicity of women in the gaming world, which I get. But part of the toxicity of women in the gamer world is that they're fucking fake.
Exactly.
So it's like this dude didn't do. It's like, yeah, man, we want to see how you guys would treat a female top player. And it's like, don't get me wrong, treating women like shit. As someone who wants to treat women like shit this year, I get it, right? I get it. I am a horrible person, but the reason that I do it is because I want everybody to earn my respect 100% fair and square, not just because of X or Y. It's like how people hate Sonic Fox because the only personality that he has is that, hey guys, I'm a black gay furry, and it's like nobody gives a shit about that anymore.
Yeah, he's really kind of pushing that on Twitter too much. Nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's probably because of like the Game Awards that he feels like a little bit more bold to do that.
Which is fine. We don't care about him being a gay black furry anymore.
Yeah,
pretty much
just throwing it in our face now.
We just want to see how he thinks about how he plays fighting games.
Exactly.
Like we're three of us here are black and one of us is Hispanic. If we all were talking about, hey guys, I'm a black Christian, like don't nobody care about that. I'm not a Christian. I'm agnostic. That's neither. That's whatever. That's my finger. That's neither here nor
instant karma.
That's neither here nor there. Yeah. But I'm just saying, if I was a top player and I started talking about my race all the time, nobody would care about that. They're like, come on, man, say something else.
Or I'd probably just get annoyed.
Yeah, or it just gets annoying. They're like, that's not what's important here. What's important is how you think, how you grow as a human being.
No.
But yeah, man, fake gamer girls, we all hate them.
Yeah. Because the thing about it too that I find interesting about like the social experiment is that it is kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't on like for the gamer girl side. Because because the thing about it was like, if you are a legit good gamer girl, that is just kind of like, okay, then you basically get like a ton of shit handed to you, and then like so you don't get you feel like you didn't earn that stuff. But then on the other side, it's just kind of like people get pissed off at you, and like it's nothing but a bunch of like hate speech. So it's just kind of like nothing but hate on that side too. It's just kind of like you're kind of screwed either way.
Yeah, but that's also part of the gatekeeping though. Because we, well, not us four, right? But just we as dudes in general.
Don't associate me with you now.
I don't know this person.
I will not be handed this thing.
Jazz, we're practically the same, except you giggle a lot and you wear glasses. Like, come on, man.
The difference is I respect women. So.
Oh, right. How could I have forgotten the most important thing in the world?
Yeah.
That's why you won't thrive this year.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that
either. I'm just making bullshit claims.
Yeah, definitely. I'm mostly doing this for the views, man.
Yeah.
But even then, we know we have people that'll gatekeep women from being great. But then again, there's also some of us who will give women preferential treatment, which I don't think is fair either way. It's kind of like being a woman in the gaming world. It was kind of like being a black dude back then. Just being a black dude doing anything, being gatekeeped just because you're black. But then we get over that, and then we become part of the mold too. It's the same thing for women. It's just like for anybody, any woman getting into gaming, you're just gonna have to take these bumps as you go.
Honestly, getting off to that point, I'm probably gonna say something that's gonna trigger somebody I know.
Oh, I'm already triggered now. What you mean?
Damn, not like this.
I am ready to be offended.
No, but like, as we've entered the quote instant age. A lot of people, just going off of that, were so quick to be like, okay, why are we attacking this girl or anything? No research at all. Just why are we attacking things or whatever? Why are we haven't we changed after last year because of the women's movement thing or whatever? And I'm just like, we're still in racism stuff still. And that was a long time ago. So how the hell is this women's rights thing gonna change something in a year? Nothing's instant.
Yeah, like these things. Yeah, I think I said something supporting that. Like it takes time. Like these things definitely take time. I also think it's also the younger generation that's constantly always being offended and always want a participation trophy because we grew up in those Xbox 360 Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, man. We had all kinds of shit be said to us.
Exactly.
So we're used to it. But I definitely think it's the generation of gamers below us that kind of because it was one extreme, then there's us in the middle, but then the newer generation now are at the other end of the spectrum. And they're just not, I don't think they're just ready yet, just because it's kind of like myself and being cultured in a way. And it's like as I go out and do shit, I mean, look at me now, I'm drinking beer and shit now, like and that's just because I'm becoming more worldly. But it's like I think the younger generation now, because their gaming experience is really sheltered, or they just have the internet to protect them. You know, they never ran hands before. They just don't know exactly what's okay and what's not okay, or what's a serious statement and what's a whatever statement. There's just no middle ground. It's just either you're with me or against me, and I don't think that's not going to help them out in the.
Yeah, there's no gray.
Yeah, there's no gray area.
No, this situation is all bullshit all around.
But it is BS all around, and there's also no innocent party involved in this at all.
Seriously, and
everyone is guilty.
I mean, it also doesn't help the Overwatch community look good, especially when it's like. Especially when like they're trying to be like, okay, well, you know, our game is dying, so hopefully we can get like things picking up. But it's just kind of like, hey, check out this controversy.
That's another thing. They made Soldier 76 gay out of nowhere.
No, like that's also one of the things about it that like people have been saying that it's like the reason why they made him gay out of nowhere is just so that they can fucking cause
get more people to talk about the game and thus playing the game.
Not just that, but it's also just so that like they can like turn eyes away from the whole fucking like thing, right? With the gamer girl.
I thought it was because their holiday. I thought it was because their holiday event did absolutely abysmal too.
That did help, I think, as well.
It's a lot of stuff, but it's just kind of like basically like the Soldier 76 thing. That's just one of those like it's a cheap gimme to try and fucking get like attention and goodwill. And it's just kind of like, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only good costume they had for the winter event was just the Junkrat Krampus, and that was about it.
Yeah, I didn't even bother. I sold my copy a while back. But anyway,
I regret buying it digitally. It's just sitting there in my library, never to be touched again.
With.
Yeah. dude, you out here making good decisions, bro.
I'm not gonna lie though. If I could like fucking transfer my content to the PC, I probably would get it again.
Absolutely not. If I could get the $60 back, I would definitely just like donate this shit to charity. Real nigga shit. Like I don't even want the money for myself. I just want it. I just want Overwatch.
In principle.
I was about to say, why would you get it on PC? I mean, what? So people can type in the text chat that you're not helping and you're just a stupid idiot.
Pick up your weight, God.
Yeah.
Why do you suck?
I noticed that you're good at playing a DPS class. You should play a healer because I want to play a DPS.
I'm throwing games left and right, honestly. But basically,
you should play Mercy.
Yeah, but basically, like the 76 thing, it's just a fucking cheap attempt at fucking like diverting attention, and it's just kind of like it's like for the most part, it's not working.
That's the problem. That is the problem that I have with it. Because, for example, Kung Jin in Mortal Kombat X being gay, nobody cares.
Exactly.
Well, rather, okay, and then Lee and I were talking about this too. And
Wait, they made Kung Jin gay?
Kung Jin was
allegedly.
Kung Jin
He's
was
hinted at possibly being gay.
Yeah.
No, but I thought he had a thing for Jackie.
No, that was Takeda.
that was yeah.
No, I thought Takeda had a thing for Cassie. Right? No,
Nobody has a
you know
thing
what?
for
I
Cassie.
think it was Kung Jin.
Nobody likes Millhouse.
I thought it was Kung Jin having a thing for Cassie.
No,
Nah.
they just are at odds with each other because they both want to be the leader.
Yeah.
So, well, then does that mean Kung Jin's been checking out that Takeda ass?
Probably.
Possibly. They have been in a lot of missions together, according to the story.
It ain't. And I'm not buying it, man.
Mm.
I don't really care because, well, one, it's not going to make their game any better.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't do anything for the game. All it is just like Moop said, it's just a cheap gimmick just to get people to start talking about that as opposed to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what Lee and I was talking about was like if they were going to be gay, don't put it in trailers. Let people find out on their own. Like I'm playing through Nier right now, and it's like if I just found out partway through the game that 2B was just a lesbian for some weird reason, I'd be like, oh, all right, cool, like whatever. I found out. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like nowadays, it's whenever you're making someone deliberately gay and they're putting it in the public like that from the jump like that, they're just trying to tap into that market.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the thing is that to me it rings so fake because it almost seems like a ploy where it's just kind of like, okay, we'll instantly get like a huge burst of like attention and likes and shit because it'll be like, well, it doesn't matter what's up with this character. As long as they're gay, then we're gonna get like all the support. It doesn't matter. Like it could be like fucking like a game with like a shitty main character, and like fucking it's just like, okay, nobody likes him. Then they suddenly announce, oh, but he's gay. All of a sudden, like a huge mass of people are just gonna be like, well, I have to support him because he's gay, and it's just like, no, you don't. The shit that the character likes doesn't matter. It's whether or not the quality is good or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
it's just like it's like fan fiction people's like dream come true.
Yeah, because like one of the things that Jazz and I were talking about for like the Mortal Kombat video we did recently was like I fucking don't like Kung Jin. I think he's a whiny fucking asshole, and it's just kind of like just because he's gay, all of a sudden I'm supposed to like him? Fuck that! I still think he's a whiny fucking asshole who just happens to be fucking gay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is.
Exactly.
I concur, Dr. Professor Mr. Mrmoopsy.
That's Dr. Professor Mr. Mrmoopsy Jr. to you, sir.
Junior.
Excuse me, little bitch.
Who's senior?
You don't want to know.
All right.
Junior. Oh, we're flex, but okay, man.
I was thinking like, No, I was gonna ask her since she's the Overwatch player. Raz, did you have anything to say?
She's asleep on the keyboard.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Brilliant addition, Raz. Hell yeah.
A round of applause.
But, I think...
Excellent observation. we're just putting like sound bites.
it's not even Raz's voice. It's just kind of like yes.
Yeah. Yes, I do believe so. I think Overwatch is stupid and horrible. And like, oh yeah, well played, yeah.
And
We're just like,
should be nerfed.
It's like the guy's British. The guy sounds like Jen.
I knew it. No, I guess we hit that one though, pretty good. So, did we ever hit any of the others, or?
I mean, I can keep going, but some of them I kind of want to save for the next podcast because, like, the whole Bungie leaving thing, it's pretty recent, and we don't know what the hell else that might end up happening.
Fair enough.
Yeah, maybe the same thing with the anime about old school arcades, because again, wasn't that just new?
Yeah, it just recently came out, and it's like blowing up, so we can wait on that one too. So I guess, is there any side stories that we want to hit before we call it?
I'm gonna make God Eater content this year,
Nice.
and it's going to be awesome.
Double nice.
Awesome.
I think to try and like motivate myself to work on more videos, I'm gonna try and make like an intro clip kind of thing.
Nice.
I've been trying to motivate myself to finish my Tekken series just so I can move on to Soul Calibur.
Yo, I'm excited for Resident Evil demo. I have like 3 accounts ready.
I know. I pre-ordered it and Kingdom Hearts 3, so I'm ready. I am so fucking ready.
I'm sorry, but for all the Kingdom Hearts people, Kingdom Hearts is going to be on the back burner for me for a while.
What's up?
Like Kingdom Hearts 3, I know everybody's excited for it. It's going to be on the back burner for me for a long time.
I mean, because like freaking, I want to stream beating up Sephiroth before I fucking before I move on to the next ones. But thankfully, I was gonna stream that tomorrow actually.
Well, I'm the same way, but with Sekiro.
Same.
But that's like the first title though. What the hell are you keeping in the back burner for?
Well, because it's made by From Software. You know, the guys that make the Soul games.
Like Bloodborne and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know how this is gonna. I don't know how I'm gonna feel with it. So I kind of want to wait on it a bit.
It looks like Tenchu, but Dark Souls is.
Like I'm thinking to myself, you know, we didn't get Bloodborne 2 for this.
It better be good From Software. He ends up loving it. You guys got lucky.
Pretty much.
You win this round.
Well, especially since there's no multiplayer, like you can't have like co-op people.
It's gonna be
But
weird
I guess
though,
it's
with
a
all
good
those grappling hook shit. Everybody's just going around. Wee, I'm Batman.
Yeah, I also find it funny that like for Kingdom Hearts, I was telling Jazz the other day, is like I beat like the new secret boss that they added to that, but I still haven't beaten Sephiroth.
Have you beat Terra?
Wait, do you mean the Lingering Will?
Because I'm talking 1.5 right
1.5,
now.
never
so
mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Zemnis?
I beat the unknown. Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah. like everyone's like, oh, who? Like, no, he's
Who
the
is that
mystery
man?
man. Like,
The lightsaber,
and he's
like in 2, and that voice, like in 2.
it's fucking Zemnis. Like,
It's been a while. Get off my case. But yeah, I beat up Zemnis.
No, we're not talking about you exactly, but
yeah, we're just talking about like the fan base.
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I beat up Zemnis and fucking I just need to beat Sephiroth, but it's just kind of like I find it funny how that like there was this one like I also sent this link to or this post to Jess where it says like the only way you can beat this guy was with like that fucking area like rave move in Kingdom Hearts. It's just kind of like I fucking the way I like to phrase it is I just beat up the guy till Candy came out.
Wait, you mean Kurt Zizza?
What's
the
his name?
weirdest named boss ever?
That guy too, but I'm talking. I am legit talking about Zemnis. I just fucking when going in head first and kicking his ass. Right now, all I have to kill is Sephiroth.
Did you know that Kurt Zizza was actually a character that won a contest that Kingdom Hearts had?
Really?
Like Square Enix wanted people to like bring in. Square Enix wanted people to bring in like designs for a new boss, and they picked this one kid's. And I don't know why it's called Kurt Zizza, but.
And that kid grew up to be Akira Toriyama. I'm just kidding.
And I mean, I like it. I like its design. You know, the cobra head and the 6 arms and freaking twin blades.
He's definitely a pain in the ass, but it's just like
yeah.
So good, like a good job for that kid. But it's like, right now I just have to beat Sephiroth, and then I can move on to the next, or to the first Kingdom Hearts game I should have played, and then just fucking move on from there.
Alrighty. Well, I guess.
And Persona.
Yeah, you are doing Persona 5. Yeah. I guess we can hit our plugs then. Whoops, you go first.
All right, everybody, we are doing our plugs, and I should stop rambling. Follow me on my follow me on Twitter, on my Twitch, at my YouTube, at Mrmoopsy. I'm going to be filing down some other accounts that I need to close down and shit, but other than that, it's just like follow those 3 main ones, and I occasionally post on Twitter because I kind of have to.
Right. And
Well, there's my YouTube channel called Venom87542. I haven't posted in a while, but that's because, I don't know, I've been tired, been busy with work.
Actually, same.
So, but I'm hoping maybe, I don't know, somewhat, maybe at the end of this month, maybe in February, I'll start.
Yeah, you know what?
making-
How about this, Venom? Let's try to find like a game so that we can like, cause I forget. Do you have Dragon Ball?
Which one? Fighters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how? Cause like, let's try to do this. Let's try to make it so that we can do like some like lobby videos of like Dragon Ball and maybe Street Fighter if you still have it, and then we'll try to get like something by like, I don't know, 2 weeks or something by the end of the month.
Well,
Basically, we just gotta do the lobby and I'll fucking like do the video editing.
okay. Well, I could do fighters. Like Street Fighter 5 would take too much time to re-download, especially with all the updates.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, it's just like because like since I also need a fucking kick in the ass to make a video and shit, I think maybe this might help.
Well,
I've been way low energy.
Well, I gotta re-download Observer because I'm still doing Observer. I had to delete it because I needed space.
But I mean, we'll talk details later.
Okay. But yeah, so there's still a bunch of videos though on my channel, so if you want to watch them, I did do a few Let's Plays that I finished, so you can find those and hopefully you'll have a gay old time. And I mean gay as in happy, not gay as in, gay.
you mean gay?
Bonnie, my pimples.
So before the SJW, before the SJWs get on my ass.
Alright, and I guess next you can find me at All Things Cosmic Jazz, Twitter, PSN. Well, not PSN yet, but it will be soon this year.
Stay away from that.
I am going to be doing a couple videos on DLA 6 beta, on the Resident Evil demo, and a couple of other things. So be sure to check that out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CosmoJazz. And happy January in 2019. Hope it's successful for everyone listening.
Hooray!
And ladies and gentlemen, Baker is my name. Playing video games is the thing that I do. I'm going to finish my updated punishment guides for Tekken 7. Those are going to be great. I'm gonna do a video on the God Eater 3 beta and my impressions on that. I'm going to make God Eater videos when it comes out. I'm also going to be making Soul Calibur punishment guides, and hopefully everything will be flourishing from there.
If you need anything involving Nightmare, ask me so that I can be a guinea pig.
You know what, man? I will go Inspector Gadget. No, I will go directly to you. No, my mind works like a search engine sometimes whenever I stutter on words.
At least you're not on that Windows XP Wi-Fi.
Right.
He's running on that Bing search engine.
Oh no, not like this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like this.
That's right. In social media and stuff, you can find me on Twitch and on Twitter at Baker_TTV and just Baker on YouTube. And if you're wondering which one I am, I'm the one that has the Yoshimitsu symbol on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because yours, like Ross, also has something that looks close to yours.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
I made jazzes.
So.